KIRO AM Seattle, KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma.
This hour is brought to you by Goldberg and Jones.
Give me a freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Heward and Matt Marcus. Sorry about just Mike
Heward, not exactly Joe Cat there in the pocket.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
All right, hello, good morning. Hi, everybody. It is the Brock and Salk Show, Seattle Sports here on 710, seattlesports.com, Seattle Sports app, podcast platforms, 97.3 HD2, and YouTube. Yeah, even my mom liked the shacket yesterday. I got a nice comment from my mom that she really liked the shacket look, so it'll be back.
Even your mom, like she's your harshest critic.
My mom?
Yeah.
No.
Well, when you say even.
Oh, no.
I guess you just mean that.
Just how that she
the
noticed.
Amount of people that notice the shacket.
Yeah. No, my mom is not normally my harshest critic, thankfully. That would be hard to deal with. No, but she was impressed. She liked it, thought I should do more of it. And then Justin and I were looking at it downstairs, Justin Barnes, former producer of this show. And we did a little discovery on it more because he was like, oh, I wonder who makes that. And he started like doing a little research. That's the Christian McCaffrey line.
That's great. Because you hate him so much.
I don't care for Christian McCaffrey.
For no reason.
Yeah, well, whatever. Anyway, it was the Christian McCaffrey line from Flag and Anthem or something like that.
I didn't
was
know
like,
that was a thing.
Yeah, neither did I, not surprisingly. I think I had seen Flag and Anthem, which I think I've heard of. But then the Christian McCaffrey thing was shocking. It was like, oh, boy, here we go. So, yes, it was a Christian McCaffrey line.
Did you donate it?
No, I'll still wear it. I mean, it's not like you would know unless I told the 7 or 8 people that are listening right now. So don't tell anybody out there. Don't tell anybody that it was a Christian McCaffrey shacket because that would only by the way, look better on me than it did on him. I'm just going to say. Like, I saw the pictures of him on the website. It looked a little bit better on me than I wore it a little more naturally. And quite frankly, I'm better looking. So thank you, Christian McCaffrey. Appreciate your lending your name to that. Lyle, good morning. How we doing today?
We're good.
Cal Raleigh. It's going to return to spring training camp probably today, maybe tomorrow. Be back in there soon. This is not a story about what happens when Cal and Randy meet at the batting cage, I promise. No, this is a story about Cal Raleigh and a reasonable expectation for the most important player on the team in 2026. Okay, what can we reasonably expect from Cal Raleigh this year? And, well, I had, let me see if I can find it. There was some sound here from Jesse Rogers yesterday saying, all right, Cal, thinking of Cal, what will he do this year? And this was Jesse's question, Jesse's hypothesis yesterday with Bump and Stacy.
Even if he drops down to 35, that's pretty good for a switch hitting catcher. That's a grind behind the plate. It's amazing what he did last year. So if that's his floor, I mean, come on, we can't complain like that. It'll be a huge drop from 60, but that was a special season that very few guys have ever had. So if it's 35, if it's 30, if it's 40, still unbelievably good. I don't even know if you could say, oh, well, 50 is the floor now because he hit 60. No, come on.
All right, so he says 35, just to put a number on it. I don't know if you saw this yesterday from Luke Arkins, who Brock tends to treat as an intern. But Luke does great research and great work. Did you see his idea for Cal and the way he decided to go about this? He said a fair expectation for Cal this year. How about looking at last year's second half slash line and walk strikeout percentage, and then essentially multiplying, not quite by 2, but by 600 plate appearances, his home run total from the second half. And that got him to 46 home runs. Essentially saying the first half of Cal's year last year was such an outlier. He was so ridiculously hot. And everyone is now going to be really focused on him, but they were by the time the second half rolled around last year. So could he just duplicate what he did in the second half of last year? I think it's a fair question. I mean, it's still 140 WRC plus. It's still, getting on base a third of the time, slugging over 500. It would be a tremendous season. But he has 46 home runs as a reasonable, guess. and Jesse Rogers had 35 home runs. So let's split the difference. Let's say Cal has 41 home runs this year. Okay? Which would be a great season for any catcher. It's a good season for anybody, but it's certainly a good season for a catcher. Plus, we've talked about the fact that Brendan Donovan's not going to hit as many home runs as Polanco did in that same spot last year. And you've kind of moved on from Gino Suarez, right? And, Ben Williamson, not that those guys were going to be big home run threats. Maybe you get a few more from Cole Young. Where are you going to make up those home runs? Like, how does it happen? Let's say Donovan hits 10, and essentially what you've got to do is make up 20 from Cal and 10 of the 20 from Polanco. How are you going to make up 30 home runs? And do you need to? Do you need to make up 30 home runs from last year?
I think they just may have to find other ways to create runs. They were 9th in runs scored last year. They were 3rd in homers. And I always figure the home run total is going to drop one way or another this year because you lose Polo, because Cal's not going to hit 60. You just have to find a way to keep creating runs.
Yeah.
I mean, a full season of Naylor helps too, right?
It should. It's bizarre because he's not a huge, crazy home run hitter like he looks like, right? He'll hit some. Okay, so how many?
He had 11 for Arizona last year, 9 for Seattle.
Okay, so he had a 20 home run year.
And he had 20 the year before and 31 the year before.
All right, so let's count him for 20-ish. Maybe that, you had some other people at first. Rowdy Tellez, as bad as he was, did hit some home runs last year. So I think there are a few ways you do it, and I think it's possible to be done. This is not a, oh, my God, the Mariners are screwed conversation. It's okay, where does that production come from? I think you got to get a couple from Julio. Not 20 extra, but can you get 5 more from Julio and a couple more from Randy Arozarena? I think that's a fair thing to ask. Maybe that accounts for 7. Can you get 10 more than you got last year from Luke Raley? I think so. Can you get 5 more than you got last year from Dominic Canzone? I would think so, given the amount of playing time that they should both get as the lefty sides of big, important platoons. So, and can Cole Young give you 5? I mean, that dude's got some pop in there. Can he give you 5 more than he did last year? I think if you add all of those up, you end up being just fine. And the good news is, even if Cal doesn't end up hitting 60 home runs again, which is a really tall order, he should still help all those other guys. And Jesse Rogers went on to say that too.
He's probably not going to hit 60 again, but the impact he will have now, the year after performing and doing what he did, will be immeasurable. And what I'm talking about basically is protection in the lineup. What he will do for his teammates this year, in my opinion, will be even more so than last year, because I think he probably snuck up on people all the way through the year the way he was hitting home runs. But he's not going to sneak up on anyone. The point is the guys around him should benefit from all the focus and attention he's going to get.
No, so I guess that's kind of my point. I think those home runs will still be there. What was their total number of home runs last year, Lyle? Do you still have that up in front of you?
It was 238.
All right, give me an over-under for this year. How many home runs will the Mariners hit? Last year it was 238. Cal had 60 of them, which is a remarkable number. If they hit 238 last year, what's the number this year?
That was 3rd in the league. I would almost look at it like they're going to drop a handful of spots from that. They'll be somewhere probably in the 10 to 12 range, if I had to guess.
Okay, what was that last year then?
That would have been roughly 198 to 191.
Okay.
That feels more like on pace, because again...
200?
Sure. But honestly, I care more about how they score runs than the home runs they hit. And I think this offense, as it sits on opening day, is way, way better than the offense they had in the first half of last year.
I mean, it's not even close, right? Obviously, with Naylor and Donovan, it's just a much better looking lineup 1 through 9. We'll see where JP's at and whether he's there on opening day. But the point, and Cole Young is in better shape and a better spot than he was in a year ago. I am still going to look at the home runs, though. I do still think it matters. I think you got to hit home runs in the modern game in order to get to where you want to be. I think they can hit more than 200 home runs. Looking at that group, I'm going to say you're right. 238 is maybe a little hard to get to again, and sometimes years change. You're right. Like some years the ball's a little different or this and that. But if they got to 238 last year, I would still love to see them get to 225. I would like to see them be pretty close to what they were last year. Because I do think that the Cal effect should end up helping a bunch of the other guys around them. And I do still think that it may the with great pitching out there and the number of strikeouts, whether it's the Mariners or not, like just the number of strikeouts that exist in the modern game, you got to hit home runs. Like that's the cleanest way to do it. 225, still that would work. That's going to be my over/under. Can somebody write that down? I won't remember it. 225, 2.25. That was 238 last year. Let's see if they can get to 225 this year. I think that'd be a really good thing. All right. We have some fun stuff last year, over the course of the rest of the morning. Chris Egan is going to join us. He's kind of an influencer now, I would say, much more so than a reporter, but kind of an influencer. I've seen all the King 5 reporters in the last couple of days. Saw Chris and Ariel Orsuto the other day at the Big Mariner event, and then I bumped into Paul Sylvie yesterday just working on a report. That was kind of fun. Got to surprise Paul. So anyway, Egan's going to join us at 8:30 this morning. I may have one other guest for you. I'm waiting to see if he gets back to me. And we got a lot of other cool stuff going on. We got a good Here's the Thing at 8 o'clock, so stick around. We'll have a fun morning. Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710.
9 out of 10 experts agree wearing earbuds at work is the universal signal for leave me alone. So grab the earbuds, pull up the Seattle Sports app, and trade that annoying coworker's endless yapping for this.
He's at the wall. Cal Raleigh's first one of the spring.
Listen to every Mariners spring training game live for free, only on the Seattle Sports app. Improving lives through Mariners baseball, one
Sparkling play by Josh Naylor
at a time.
Well, spring is all about getting ready for summer, isn't it? But do you have a room just sitting empty and you've dreamt of making it your own home gym? Hey, Brock Hewitt here, and working out in your own home, well, it is the best. We've been doing so for years, and you can allow Top Fitness to create your own home gym. Simply give them your room dimensions, and they'll do the rest. A complete fitness room design. It's no secret why everyone, from personal trainers to pro athletes, love Top Fitness. Top Fitness represents the very best brands in fitness, like Precor, Inspire Fitness, along with many others. They also have everything from flooring to weights that go in a home gym. And right now, get spring special financing with 0% interest for 12 months, plus mention me and receive an $150 credit towards any purchase over $1,000. Spring is here to get you in the best shape, so go get into Top Fitness with locations in Tukwila, Linwood, and Bellevue, or simply visit topfitness.com for more info. That's Top Fitness, your best place for home fitness equipment.
Our number one thing with them is always like, hey, welcome someone in and assure them that they're in the right place. We're going to take care of them.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like a staff accountant at the height of tax season.
Congrats. Looks like the company owes, $50 in taxes. How about that?
That seems low. Why only 50?
Why do you care so much? It's not your money.
This is a job for sponsored jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
At the American Lung Association, we're fighting for a day when we can all breathe easier. We're fighting for clear skies over every city and healthy lungs throughout the country. We're fighting to free millions of Americans from the addictive grip of tobacco and the devastating effects of lung disease. The American Lung Association isn't just fighting for air, we're fighting for all the things that make it worth breathing, and we can use your help. See what you can do at fightingforair.org.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 five-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
Compassion. Communication. Results. That's Pendergast Law Personal Injury Lawyers. Go to pendergastlaw.com. That's pendergastlaw.com.
They say teachers don't impact for a year, but for a lifetime. Hi, this is Rick Rizk. Join WSECU, your local credit union, as we celebrate those who give so much with the Teacher of the Week program. Nominate a teacher you feel has changed a life in our community. Each week throughout the season, we'll honor one teacher with a $500 grant, courtesy of WSECU. Teachers are the real MVPs. Find out more and nominate a teacher at mynorthwest.com/teacher.
The nonprofit Puget Sound Senior Baseball League plays real baseball on the best fields. Final tryouts for adults ages 18 to 65 and older are this Sunday, March 22nd at Interlake High School in Bellevue. With 10 divisions featuring different age and skill levels, there's room for almost every ball player, from ex-Little Leaguers in high school to former college and pros. Get all the info at pssbl.com. That's pssbl.com.
At Fisher Investments, we may seem like other money managers, but we're different.
What makes you so different than the rest of us?
We ensure clients receive unparalleled service at every step of the relationship.
Tell me more.
Our investment counselors focus on service over sales, prioritizing clients' needs.
How do you make money?
We don't sell any commission-based products. We have a simple management fee based on the value of our clients' portfolio. So we do better when our clients do better.
What about client portfolios?
We get to know each client, their finances, family, health, lifestyle, and more, and then we tailor a portfolio based on their specific goals and needs.
Your clients really come first then, huh?
Yes, we make them a top priority. Our goal is helping them achieve a comfortable retirement.
Wow, maybe we are different.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
This hour is brought to you by Goldberg and Jones.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Presented by Marquee Data. Here's what you need to know. Up first.
All right, Mariners roster now essentially, or at least almost back together. The offense certainly showed its teeth yesterday. Luke Raley, the big star.
Swung on, tag, high, deep, center field. This is going to go. It's on the berm. Luke Raley, a 3-run bomb. A no-doubter. And the Mariners lead 4-1.
I think that was 439 feet. Was that the number?
I believe it was 437.
Oh, well, I kind of gave him. Let's give him the extra 2 feet.
Come on.
You hit it that far. Let's give him 439. What an absolute cannon shot. When I walked into the studio this morning, the TV was still on, and I walked in just as they were showing that highlight. That is a crush job. Tape measure shot. Nice one for Luke. He had a couple hits yesterday, 3, I believe. Randy Arozarena with a home run as well. 3 2/3 innings, 3 runs for Emerson Hancock as he looks to try to secure a start or two while Bryce Miller is building himself up. Dan Wilson talking here about how Emerson's doing things a little differently this year.
He is using it a little bit differently. You know, I think that sweeper really does give him a different look with the right-handers and the left-handers. And, you know, the slider, too, has been very, very good. He's able to use the changeup as well against the lefties. So he's mixing and matching. And I think, you know, Johnny Paredes today doing a nice job with him, mixing it up. And then he's got that heater up at the top of the zone that'll really surprise you. And you know, I think I saw it hit 97 at one point today. So, you know, he's going to try to get you swing and miss at the soft stuff down below, and then he can really rush you up at the top of the zone.
Yeah, I think I like hearing that he's doing things a little bit differently. Emerson Hancock was probably at a point where he needed to. Last year just wasn't as effective as he needed to be. He's reached an age where if his stuff isn't doing it, then you got to make some changes, and good on him for making some of them. Hopefully they will have a positive effect if and when he ends up taking a couple starts here to start the year. It was indeed a cortisone shot for J.P. Crawford, who's now going to take a couple of days to rest and kind of let it work before resuming play. So he does, in theory, still have time to be ready for opening day. But off the top of your head, how many plate appearances do you think J.P. Crawford has in spring training this year? It's only 18. He only has 18 plate appearances. So I would absolutely think he could use at least a little bit of action before the season begins. So could he be ready for opening day? Yeah, sure. But I don't know whether he's going to feel comfortable enough to be in there, or if they're going to feel comfortable for him being there. Wouldn't shock me if he needed at least a couple of days to just get a couple extra at-bats to find himself fully up to speed and ready to go.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Small move for the Seahawks yesterday. They re-signed Cody White, wide receiver, only played, about a quarter of the offensive snaps last year, but he was a big part of the special teams units. He had 3 catches for 90 yards and a touchdown as a wide receiver, 106 yards on 4 kickoff returns, so he did play a role. Meanwhile, the big agreement, and this could end up being important, between the NFL and the NFL Referees Association is set to expire in May, and negotiations have stalled.
Wilson takes a snap. 3-man rush. Looking, scrambling. Now he's going to roll. Now he's going to stop and set. Back at the 40, lets it fly to the end zone. Going to give his guys a chance. Going up, coming down. Does he come down with it? Does Golden State have it? He's in the end zone. He has! Oh my God, he's got it! Touchdown, Seahawks!
That was a game-winning touchdown right there. I don't care what you think or what they think. If it was a catch or no catch, it was. It is what it is.
It is what it is. Thank you, Golden. And I guess we'll just never know. That was the Fail Mary, and if you don't end up with a new agreement for the refs, we may see one again. Kevin Seifert from ESPN saying the league has already begun looking for replacements. Well, that went really well the last time. I hope they could do that again, because that was a really fun experience for all of us.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
All right, not much change in the standings. A lot of teams off last night. So the Kraken continue to cling to that wild card spot with just 15 games to play. They start a tough road trip tonight in Nashville. WNBA and their Players Association have agreed in principle on a new CBA. Shams had the details. Essentially, the salary cap goes from about $1.5 million to $7 million, so an enormous increase. Average revenue share of about near 20% across the deal, so there is a tie to revenue, something that was important. A Supermax contract starts at $1.4 million per year, so an opportunity for some of the best players to make some real money, and an average salary will now be in the $600,000 range with a minimum of just $300,000. So obviously a huge difference. Andrea Carter says this is a big deal.
There are no words for the gravity of what these women fought for, and it is something that the future players and current players will forever be changed. And the CBAs and the money and everything, it's really a leap in the right direction. Like, sometimes you can take steps and you see the growth, and we see all of those things, and growth to me is amazing, and this matches the growth that we've seen. So I love that the players and the executive committee are happy with it. That's all that I wanted, was the players and NECA and the WNBPA to feel like they got what they deserved, and that's what it seems like everyone feels like. So I'm just thrilled for the players. They deserve it.
What an incredible story this is, and see how they treat Caitlin Clark after this. She was obviously part of the growth of this thing, and hopefully they will stop continuing to treat her like a pariah on the edges of the league. That is everything you need to know. 1:15 every hour here on the Brock and Salk Show. Let's see if we could avoid the replacement refs. I mean, the one thing that did is it showed you that the refs were actually pretty good. Like the normal refs, right? Like, I know we get mad, and maybe there would be enough, ability to get in their ear and all the stuff that has sort of gotten better in the decade and a half, maybe, since the Fail Mary. But let's try to avoid that. I don't need another Fail Mary in my life.
And I thought it was a good point. Kevin Seifert from ESPN in his article said that the the NFL Referees Association executive brought up how much bigger gambling's gotten since then.
True.
And how much of an impact that's going to have if something affects a game like it did the Packers-Seahawks game.
Yes, good point. Yeah, there's so much more legalized gambling than there was then. Great point, Maura. All right, Field Yates joined us yesterday. If you like the draft, really like the draft, you're going to love this. I promise. It's next on Brock and Salk.
Breaking news this morning from ESPN.
Is it finally happening?
Good golly, Miss Molly! ESPN's Shams Charania, the NBA, will go next week to explore adding expansion teams in Vegas and Seattle. Joining us now, Shams himself.
The NBA is projecting that both Seattle and Las Vegas would immediately jump into the top 8 of revenue-generating teams.
Stay caught up on the latest at seattlesports.com and Seattle Sports on 710, the app, and YouTube.
Flying chickens in a barnyard.
There's nothing better than having a big fish on your line. Make this the year you take that unforgettable fishing trip to Queen Charlotte Lodge. Time is running out for summer bookings. Experience a luxury resort and amazing fishing with your buddies, family, father, or son. King salmon runs, halibut, and lingcod are always plentiful. Book your stay at fishqcl.com and use code ESPN. Experience fishing first class. Experience fishqcl.com.
Hi, Chuck here at Frank Lumber the Door Store. Something that happens here most every day are customers and contractors looking to purchase doors they can take today. Frank Lumber has a good selection of pre-hung display doors that are ready to go. And if we don't have what you need today, whether it be style or size, and you find a door in stock, we can still get you taken care of quickly. Come visit our showroom and bargain barn in Shoreline. Also, be sure to check us out online at franklumber.com.
I've always wanted to learn French, but the app I tried didn't help.
If you want to memorize words in another language, there's an app for that. But if you want to really learn another language, there's Babbel. Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different. Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Babbel feels like it was created intentionally by people who really know what you need to learn another language. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Want to really learn another language? Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com to save up to 50%. Babbel.com.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
This is the story of the one. As a procurement manager for a hospital system, she keeps every facility in her network stocked and ready. That's why she counts on Grainger to be her single source for thousands of products, from disinfectants to lighting, air filters, and more. And with fast, dependable delivery, Grainger helps her keep every facility stocked, safe, and running smoothly. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
We've all been there. Sleepless nights, mind racing, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Video security, burglar alarms, fire alarms, access control, 24/7 monitoring, and more. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy, knowing we're here for you, your people, and your business. Visit bayalarm.com to talk to a local security expert. Bay Alarm, we got you.
Don't miss Three Tree Roofing Mariners Cactus League Baseball.
This could be two. JP has it, goes to the bag, steps on second, fires to first, double play.
Broadcast times at seattlesports.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go. And that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Brock and Salk's Rewind is presented by Toyota of Kirkland and Toyota of Renton.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, Field Yates joins us now, Brock. Good morning, Field. How are you?
I'm doing good, gentlemen. Thanks for having me on.
Field, I'm so pleased with your hair these days. I was kind of curious where you were going to go with it. You were really letting it go. And I was like, is he going to do the man bun thing? Is he going to do the John Clayton ponytail thing? Like, what's the end game with this? And I'm so impressed. You have great hair.
Thank you.
You look great. I'm guessing you look good, you feel good, you talk good. Is that the thought?
That is the thought behind it, yes. And I got to be honest with you. Recently, we've been a little bit more structured with our plan. For a while there, the plan was to just let it go and see what happens, which is largely a recommendation from my wife. And, we abide by the 51% rule in the Yates household, which is that I'm a 49% stakeholder in the marriage. So she has majority vote no matter what. So if she wants to grow it out long or wants me to grow it out long, I'll probably abide by that. But, I think it helps reeling it back in just a little bit. It certainly helps me get ready to go to work every single day.
You're a Belmont Hill guy. Where'd your wife? She obviously couldn't have gone to Belmont Hill. So where did where did she go?
She's the actual athlete in the relationship. She went to Brooks and then played field hockey at Boston College. So she, actually, funny story, she is her high school advisor and one of her coaches during her Brooks tenure is the mother of Seahawks wide receiver Jake Bobo, a proud Belmont Hill alum. At least a Seahawks receiver for right now. We got the original round tender. I think the Seahawks would be wise to keep him around, but we shall see. That's how things go. Yeah.
We once lost a basketball game at Brooks, Brock, by I think 40 points. And their best player was still draining threes at the end of the game, up 40. And we were like, dude, I think it's over. I think it's good. I don't think you need to keep shooting those. And then I almost got in a fight with the coach, which probably shouldn't surprise you either. All right, enough ISL stories from back in the day. Field, you've been doing a ton of draft stuff and mock draft stuff. How hard is it to mock the number 32 pick?
It's impossible for a lot of reasons. First of all, the Seahawks don't have a lot of needs, right? Running back is one of them. I have a harder time than others justifying a running back in this class going 32, the most obvious name that's been somewhat popular in mocks. I know my guy Mel Kiper Jr.'s had him in the first round. Others have as well, is Jadarian Price. Obviously, Jeremiah Love will be long gone by pick number 32. I'm probably not as convicted Jadarian Price at number 32 as others, in part because I haven't seen as much in the passing game from him. He's an explosive player. He does have great kick return ability, but we'll see whether he actually finds his way into the first. But on top of that, this is a weird draft, and you guys have probably heard that from anybody you've spoken with about the draft. And you could probably find people that see players, and I'm going to pick a range, 20 to 50 as borderline interchangeable. not a super top-heavy draft. It's much more about the depth of this draft. There are a couple of positions that are particularly strong, but there are a couple that are worryingly weak as well, quarterback being the most notable amongst those, but running back, not a great running back class this year. And then there are a couple of spots where you've got some players at the top, the depth just dries out in a hurry. So it's a very unique class relative to what we've seen over the past couple of years.
I'm going to get to that in a second, and I've heard a few things that I think you will also echo that makes it even more weird. But let's get to the Seahawks here for a second, Field. I'm curious, between you and Mel, all the guys that you talk to, how much of an influence does a Seattle Seahawks Super Bowl win in year 2 with Mike Macdonald, becoming the first defensive play calling head coach to win a Super Bowl, the scheme, the style, the Mike Macdonald way, how much of an impact does it have through the optics of this draft and its personnel and its different fits, possibly as the Seahawks did, that's a Seahawks kind of guy, the Seahawks did this. Does that have much of a copycat nature to it at all?
For sure. It happens every year, and maybe the fact that it happens every year and then the teams that do it don't necessarily break through should be a lesson that, like, stick to your core beliefs. Not everybody can be Mike Macdonald and the Seattle Seahawks, and the longevity they've had in this front office and some of the, not home runs, but grand slams they've had in the draft. Like, some of those are not things that you can just replicate by trying to be like Seattle. I would say for me, where it's impacted the draft personally on the Seahawks front is it's been a reminder for them that there are players in which you can look past a specific limitation, whether it's size, whether it's speed, whether it's stiffness, whatever it might be, and just imagine how that player might fit with a play caller like Mike Macdonald, who I think has proven himself in not just his Seattle tenure, but also his time with Baltimore as probably as good as anybody in the NFL with specifically defensive players, IDing what they do well, maximizing those talents, limiting the areas that they're not at their very best, and extracting maximum value from players. So there are guys that I think are sort of borderline first-round picks or borderline second-round picks. I actually have my 2-round mock draft coming out next week that wouldn't fit for everybody, but you just imagine them going to a Mike Macdonald scheme and you say to yourself, that guy will probably, rack up 8 sacks or have 120 tackles or have 3 interceptions because Mike would talent maximize him. We've seen obviously plenty of notable examples, Nicky Manwari being the most recent draft pick, but even thinking about Kobe Bryant, as you guys know, like Kobe's career was at this very unique spot just a few seasons ago, right? A corner trying to find his way as a safety. Now he's making, I think it's $13 or so million a year with Chicago and a very deserved contract for a guy who was excellent for them last season.
Field Yates with us from ESPN. Are there good players in this draft? Because all I keep hearing from everybody is how awful it is.
Yeah, there are good players. It's just that, the number of guys that we expect to be all pros within like the 2 to 3 year range is pretty limited. And there are a lot of solid starters in this year's draft class, which I think naturally works to the advantage of the teams picking lower in the draft, meaning closer to 32 than it does those picking in the first 6 to 10 selections, who are probably, based off the fact that history has told us that lots of good players come from the first 10 picks, are saying to themselves, hey, we have, whenever the 8th pick in the draft, time for us to land a difference maker. If I were to do a mock of the first 10 picks with most people, you could probably find sort of a point and a counterpoint to all of the 10 guys that are most commonly picked as top 10 selections. Other than, I would say, Fernando Mendoza. I have heard some who are not necessarily the most bullish on Fernando, but clearly the best quarterback, had an excellent final season, excellent college career. He was good at Cal as well, just with fewer pieces around him. And the Raiders obviously have A, a dramatic need, and B, a coach now in Clint Kubiak, who has the right scheme to optimize Fernando Mendoza. But what I would say is that, you go to the number 2 player on my big board, Jeremiah Love. Do you want to take a running back in the first 5 picks? You go to these pass rushers in David Bailey and Arvell Reese. Bailey, his body type, a little bit unique, not necessarily this bear on the ground against the run. Arvell Reese rushed the passer 97 times total last year, guys, in a 14-game season for Ohio State. And now we're talking about him as a top 2 overall pick as a pass rusher, that tells you it's a projection. Now, he may be a great player, but it's still a projection. You can keep going through a list of guys that go in the first 10 selections or that will likely go in the first 10 selections, and I think red flag is too strong of a word to characterize sort of the counterpoint to these players, but this is not like 2 years ago when we had 6 quarterbacks in the first 12 picks, plus 3 receivers in the first 9 picks that we all thought were really good players, 2 offensive tackles in the first 7 picks that a lot of people thought were easily franchise-level players or guys that could make $25, $30 million one year, a tight end in Brock Bowers who slid to 13 because of all of those other good players at those positions. It's just different than where we have been in some of these recent drafts.
Field, I don't want to produce you and Mel's show, but have you guys gone through the exercise to that point of looking at the last 5 years, top 10 picks? Where would any of these top 10 projected picks this year fit in those groups of the last 50 of the 5 years?
Yeah, we've done a lot of the Fernando Mendoza and where does he fit. I would argue, and I think people need to, just for a moment, try to get back to where they were prior to 2024, not based off what we know about these players right now. But I would say grade-wise, Fernando would be behind the 3 guys that went 1, 2, 3 in the 2023 draft class, that being Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, and Drake May in that order. I think Fernando will be the 4th quarterback over the last 3 drafts, ahead of a guy like Cam Ward. And while Bo Nix had a lot of success, I think even ahead of a guy like Bo Nix, who finished his college career, obviously, at Oregon. So the offensive tackles, like Joe Alt, to me, is the best offensive tackle prospect we've had in the past 5 years. None of the players in this class are at the same caliber. But the top 10, if you were to create a system where, players were graded 1 to 100, and then add all of these 10 guys' grades up, my guess is, and this is somewhat unscientific, so I could go back with a finer tooth comb and maybe have an adjusted opinion. But my guess would be the lowest of the last 5 years. Like the top 10 this year is the weakest of the top 10 over the last 5 seasons.
All right, so all that makes sense. We're talking to Field Yates, who's got his 2-round mock coming out when?
Next Tuesday. Big day next week.
All right, so we'll be ready for it on Tuesday of next week, just a couple days before opening day. So you still have some time there to really think through some good mock draft stuff, 2 rounds. So if it's not a great draft, it's not as deep, there aren't as many guys that are going to be superstars, and you don't have all the quarterbacks and top-notch wide receivers to push everybody down. I understand the point of, hey, it's better to have pick 30, closer to 32 than it is to have something at the top. But what if you're the Seahawks and you usually want to trade out of number 32 and move backwards a little bit? Are there going to be teams that will have any interest in coming up to trade for a number 32 pick?
Yeah, there are 2 forces that Seattle has working for it at pick number 32, and this applies to other teams in that, let's call it 27 to 32 range. I think 27, is that Buffalo? I think Buffalo's 26, San Francisco's 27. But all those teams in the back end of the first have 2 things going for it. One is there is an advantage to getting a first-round pick. It has 5 years of contract control. If you believe the player is going to be really good, the extra year of team control is obviously valuable. 2, there's a world in which Ty Simpson is floating late in the first round. Arizona currently slated to pick 34th. The Jets currently slated to pick 33rd. If Arizona thinks, hey, the Jets might jump up, or might take Ty Simpson, we in turn need to jump up to get our hands on a player like Ty. So whether it's a quarterback or another position, because I would argue that any of these premium positions, quarterback, pass rusher, pass protector, guy who catches passes, wide receiver, or guy who covers that position, meaning cornerback, are worthy of having a 5th year of team control under your belt. The Seahawks are going to witness how that influences contract negotiations this offseason, right? I mean, JSN and Devin Witherspoon, if I had to guess, are going to sign deals. JSN will probably be the richest receiver in NFL history in terms of average annual value. He deserves it, and he will get that. But I think for the Seahawks, from the Seahawks perspective, is that may be correct. Let's just say it's $41 million a year. I'm just throwing out a number that's above where things are at right now.
Mm-hmm.
They also have 2 more years of team control. So for them, it may be 4 years and $160 million of extended money, but it's also a 6-year layout of whatever 160 plus the 2 years he is currently due on the fifth-year option plus the fourth year of his rookie contract. So for them, it's more like a, call it $32 to $33 million per year investment, which for arguably the best receiver in football, that's a no-brainer. So that fifth year of contract control does have a lot of value. So Seattle could get some nibbles if there is a player that we see make it to that last pick. A couple of years ago, we saw San Francisco do this to get Ricky Pearsall. So we've seen teams trade into not just late in the first round, but the final pick of the first round to get a player they wanted.
Okay, everybody always loves names, Field. So let's, to Salk's point, let's get the Seahawks traded out of 32, and they move somewhere in the 30s, and they add another third-rounder and everything else. So they got a second and 2/3. Give me a couple names in that range, call it from player 35 to 75, at the biggest need positions for the Seahawks, that being running back, that being corner, that being edge. Any names there that you really like?
Yeah, and by the way, I think I just said Ricky Pearsall. I meant Xavier Legette for the Panthers was the guy that they traded up for at pick 32. It was Carolina, not San Francisco. Anyways, I digress. 35 to 75 range. Let's start with running backs because I think it's the narrowest number of players that could fit in that range. I think it's Jadarian Price. That would be the only player that I personally have a top 75 grade on, not named Jeremiah Love. Other names that I think are going to come off the board after that would be the likes of a Nick Singleton from Penn State, Jonah Coleman from Washington, might be more day three. Mike Washington Jr. from Arkansas seems to be the trendy running back who had a great combine, 200 and some pounds, ran a 4.3, 340. I didn't think the tape was round 2 or early round 3 good, but a strong combine can definitely change people's perceptions. But running back
who is Jonah Coleman? Sorry to interrupt you. Who is Jonah's comp?
Yeah.
Who's a current present day back in this system? The system they're going to run. Do you see a fit? Comp?
5'8", 220 pounds for Jonah Coleman. So there aren't many guys that are built like Jonah, right? Maybe a little bit of Jalen Warren from the Steelers. A guy who, like Jonah, factor in the passing game. Jonah, I just love the not just the I would say 4-year track record of being a productive player, especially during this final 2 seasons with Washington, but the ability to turn a nothing run into a something run. He's got good elusiveness, good acceleration. I thought he was a tough runner for a player of his stature overall. I think Jalen Warren has some of that to his game as well. Warren, who played his college ball at Oklahoma State and now with Pittsburgh. But Jadarian Price would be a name that comes to mind at running back.
Okay.
At cornerback, there's actually some decent options here. So Brandon Cisse from South Carolina, he's been mocked a lot. I think some of that is, first of all, it would make sense to me. Second of all, he's went to South Carolina. He's a freaky athlete. If it worked so well last year with Nicky Manwari, you might as well go back to the well one more time. Chris Johnson from San Diego State had a great year this past year. Excellent ball skills, just a natural playmaker, very, very pesky in finding the football. The size is just kind of average, but as we know in Seattle, you don't have to be the biggest cornerback to make a big physical impact a la Devin Witherspoon. I would say that Adion Terrell from Clemson might slide into round 2. He had a great playmaking year this past year himself, forced 5 fumbles, which for a corner is just silly. But he is also small. He's 185 pounds soaking wet, might be closer to 175. Other names, D'Angelo Pons from Indiana, great player. He is also tiny. That's the big concern with the D'Angelo Pons. So there are some good corner names there. And then edge, that to me is where I think you have a chance to make a mark. Is with edge, it's a little bit of what kind of body type and skill set are you looking for?
The most rugged edge there is. Give me the most rugged edge there is.
I think Denai Dennis Sutton might be the answer from Penn State. 6'6", 260-plus pounds, ran really well at the combine. Remember that Penn State-Oregon game from this past year, which at the time, Penn State was still in the playoff picture. James Franklin was still their head coach, and we didn't realize that season was going to fall by the wayside. Had some crazy plays in that game, including an interception, I believe it was on a 2-point conversion that just showed off some freaky athletic traits. I think he's a guy he's right outside my top 50 in overall rankings. Jayshon Barham would be a good example of a player that I think when I watch him, he may not be for everybody, but then I think about Mike McDonald and I say to myself, that works. Jay Sean is a former Maryland stand-up inside linebacker who played at Michigan for the past 2 seasons, moved to a hybrid role playing both on the edge and as a stand-up inside linebacker. Wasn't crazy productive in the sack category. I think it was 4.5 this past season. He seems to be getting a lot less momentum and buzz in draft media than his teammate Derek Moore, who had 10.5 sacks this past season. I see it completely the opposite. I think Barham is clearly the better and higher upside player. Barham just got these, and this is part of the reason why he was a capable stand-up linebacker, these heavy, violent hands where he can really engage offensive tackles and knock them back. And if he just puts it together, he's a work in progress.
So you know what's crazy about this? Yeah, this exercise is it just shows you. You said earlier about continuity of the Seahawks and consistency. Like, this is why they did what they did. I think the outside field looks at it like, oh my gosh, you can't lose Boye Mafe, and you can't lose Kobe Bryant, you can't lose da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And like, yeah, you can. And actually, this draft, I think from a need standpoint, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but if those are some of the need positions for the Seahawks, doesn't this draft perfectly line up for them from player 30 to 90?
Yeah, they'll be in good shape. I would say, like, not worried about Seattle is how I feel. I know that in the moment when you're coming off of a championship, especially fans, like, of course they're bummed that Kenneth Walker III isn't back this year. The Seahawks have reached the single best and perhaps in some ways most challenging phase of roster building that you can ever achieve, which is you're so good, you're so successful, and you've got so many players that have to get paid that you make the difficult decision. And if Boye Mafe is going to get $20 million a year and he is not your best edge rusher on the roster, or maybe he's your – where would he have ranked in terms of just pure pass rushers for Seattle this past year? He had just 2 sacks, and the pressure numbers were way better. But he's not a top 2 pass rusher for this team. It's hard to justify a $20 million per year contract for a player like that. And Kenneth was amazing, obviously, during the final 6 games between the playoffs and the regular season. But, you know, there were times in which the team leaned more on Zach Charbonnet, and they still won 14 regular season games, and they dominated the playoffs. So they have reason to believe that this draft aligns well with the areas they need to replenish. And while it's not as exciting from the outside looking in, I have to imagine there are probably players on their roster, and I've heard John Schneider talk about him. Maybe I'm getting a little bit over my skis here, George Alani a little bit. And, like, when I hear him talk about George, I hear more excitement than I've ever thought about with George and how that he might fit into the Seahawks backfield going forward. I'm not saying that he is going to be their starting running back, but I think I'll be the first to admit, in my role, sometimes you overlook some of the internal options that might play a bigger role than you realize.
Let me ask you 2 questions, 30-second answers on both, because we're almost out of time here. So 30 seconds on both. If the Seahawks were to want to trade still for Max Crosby, is it possible, and what would it take?
I think it would be 2 ones. Especially, you know, it's going to be at least 2 ones because 32 is a lot different than 14.
All right.
So 2 ones, but it's got to be 2 ones plus something.
All right. And if they wanted to trade for Devon Achane, how much would he cost from the Dolphins?
Yeah, well, it sounds like they're not open for business on Achane. That being said, I think it would probably involve a first-round pick. I know that sounds crazy for a running back, but when it's pick 32, that's a scary thought, right? I mean, if you're Miami, pick 32, and what we've been talking about as a weak draft is not nearly as alluring as it would be in a different class.
Great stuff, man. One thing I will say at the end of this, Brock, for all of the people we talk about that don't really know much about the Seahawks nationally, don't put Field Yates in that category.
No, sir.
He knows exactly what's going on here.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Well, I
Field.
appreciate you guys very much. Thank you.
Yeah, he does. He's definitely a guy that is up on it, right? Like, really does understand the whole league. And, yeah, I sympathize with anybody trying to mock someone to the Seahawks at 32, both because of all of the turbulence that will occur before it gets there, and then just because of who they are and some of the confusion. And I do think they will probably try to trade out of it anyway. So it's yeoman's work by Field Yates. Nice job by him. But he also said a couple things I want to come back to here with Brock. And then beyond that, it kind of is leading to what is becoming the big question of this Seahawks offseason. We'll address it. We'll ask it. We'll try to answer it together next on Brock and Salk.
Four Down Territory. Michael Bumpus answers the top 4 football questions of the day.
You watched every target to Rashid Shaheed, so what did you see?
He's good off the line. I like his release. He has a couple releases that he goes to that works. And the reason why they work is because he's extremely fast. You have to respect everything that he does. I think that once he gets on a defender's hip, he is gone. The saying, if he's even, he's leaving. That is exactly him.
Catch every Four Down Territory on the Seattle Sports app.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. This season, go electric with Toyota's BZ lineup, available now at Toyota of Kirkland. Instant power, smooth acceleration, and a quiet ride that feels like warm-ups before the stadium fills. Come in, take a test drive, and experience the future of driving for yourself. You can take home your new BZ the same day right after you test drive it. Charge up this season at Toyota of Kirkland and visit them today or online at toyotaofkirkland.com. That's toyotaofkirkland.com.
Can you imagine a world where you leave the house and you take your home Wi-Fi speeds with you? Well, thanks to Xfinity Mobile, it's not just a fantasy. Just picture it. You're at your kid's soccer practice. You're streaming the other game in 4K just like that. Or how about in the airport? You can download a cozy family comedy in a snap with Wi-Fi Power Boost. What if the places you had to be felt more like everywhere you wanted to be? Well, that's the magic of Xfinity Mobile. Reliable Wi-Fi and 5G when you need it. Xfinity, imagine that. Cut your mobile bill in half with 2 lines of unlimited. Visit XfinityMobile.com to learn more. Some restrictions apply. Xfinity Internet required. Savings based on promotional rate for 2 lines of Xfinity Mobile Unlimited versus regular rates for 2 lines of T-Mobile. Experience more. Verizon Unlimited Plus and AT&T Starter as of 2/10/26. Taxes and fees extra. After promo, the regular rates apply, but go check it all right now. Put it right in your fingertips with XfinityMobile.com.
Here's a tale of Linda trying to lose weight, but the med prices she found were all over the place.
Hidden fees and markups made her jaw drop low. Then she found GoodRx. Now she's in the know.
GLP-1 subscriptions FDA approved.
With clear upfront pricing.
And same-day pickup.
That's GoodRx, the no-nonsense way. Save time and money on prescriptions.
Get to goodrx.com/weight loss. GoodRx is not insurance.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Every business starts with an idea. With smart business buying from Amazon Business, get everything you need to grow in one familiar place. From office supplies to IT essentials and maintenance tools. Ready to bring your visions to life? Learn how at AmazonBusiness.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877 Cars for Kids to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877 Cars for Kids to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
Texting enrolls you in a recurring automated marketing text messages. Consent not required to purchase. Message and data rates may apply.
The team's looking good this season. I think so. Man, I miss playing football. Ever since I turned 40, I just can't find that fire I used to have.
Think it could be lower testosterone?
What do you mean?
I was feeling the same way. After 40, the body has less testosterone, and men lose their edge. That's why I take Nugenix Total T2.
That's the testosterone booster, right?
Yes, but Total T2 is their brand new formula that skyrockets nitric oxide levels in as little as 3 hours. Since I started taking it, I've been lifting like when we played for Coach Carter. My energy is way up, and it even spiced up things between between me and the missus.
Are they still giving out complimentary bottles?
Yep, just send a text.
Text HAWK to 321-321 for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T2, the next generation testosterone booster. Text now and we'll include a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, our newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text HAWK to 321-321. That's HAWK to 321-321.
These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
The countdown is on.
Just 7 days until opening day next Thursday against the Guardians at T-Mobile Park.
On the home of the American League West champion Mariners, Seattle Sports. KIRO AM Seattle.
This hour of the Brock and Salk Show is powered by Star Rentals, preferred supplier to the West's best contractors.
Give me a freaking auto! From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Ewart is my hero.
Jim Buhner just punched me in the kidney.
We're going to give you a minute.
Doesn't really work that way, Sherm. This is a show that has my name on it.
It kind of does, though.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Ewart and Mike Salk.
Hello! Brock, this Seahawks offseason, and we're going to get to some Mariners here in a half hour as we will, I think, have a very good conversation about the most intriguing Mariner today. And then there's some JP conversation to have. There's a bunch going on. But I'm going to start today by...
Opening day pitcher. Do we have an opening day pitcher?
No, it's a week away. So you don't want to name. You want to wait as long as possible on that. No, that should be any moment now, I would think. I mean, Dan said yesterday or 2 days ago that he was just about ready to announce
within
that.
the next couple of days.
All right.
Yesterday.
Yeah, hopefully we get that information today. I think it's going to be Logan Gilbert. Maybe it'll be Brian Wu. I don't know. This Seahawks offseason so far, it makes sense, right? Logically. Everything they've done, it all makes perfect sense. Every single move they make, you can be like, yep, I get it. Yep, I get it. Yep, I get it. It all makes sense. But isn't it also really trying the patience?
Every step they take. Yes.
I was hoping instead you would sing Patience by Guns N' Roses.
And your haircut looks great,
Thank
too.
you.
Gosh, you just strip years off your life. It's the weirdest thing. When
Is
you
it
get your
possible
haircut,
for you to start talking about sports when we start the show here at 7 o'clock? Is it possible?
It's possible.
Okay.
It's not probable, but it's possible.
Do it.
Yeah, and I was reminded of that, and I shot you guys a text last night kind of speaking to that. Like being in our sister station yesterday and seeing Stink and Mike Evans and Amanda and the rest of the crew there and them saying like
in Denver, for people who don't know.
Yeah, just oh my gosh, you guys are world champions. It just must be amazing and exhilarating. You guys did it again, and you won the Super Bowl, and your show. You guys must be just living and breathing and dying Seahawks every day. I can only imagine. We made it to the AFC Championship game, but fell short.
Well,
and
I hope you remind them, like,
well,
we also have a baseball team that made it to the ALCS. Like, we got other stuff to talk about, bro.
Yeah, we're pretty spoiled.
Yeah,
we're pretty spoiled.
Like, we're kind of excited about the start of this Mariners season. Don't know what to tell you. Maybe more excited than you are about the start of Rockies season.
Yeah, they don't really have a baseball team to talk about.
No.
Yeah, and I said absolutely, but unbelievable run. And we do have to remind ourselves because, to your point, the last 3 weeks or so has very much tested the patience because there really has just not been. And now the Max Crosby stuff was fun, and I do think the Seahawks were engaged in that and walked through that, and they do turn over every stone, and they were certainly engaged with their own guys and had caps on where they could go with Ken Walker and some of the different players, and ultimately getting Rashid Shaheed was probably the best news of the whole offseason. I think there was an expectation you could get Josh Jobe done, and it wasn't huge money.
But as you sit here today, Brock, on, what is it, March 19th, right? About just over a month from the draft, and with the first wave of free agency now in the rearview mirror, it's worth noting that when we look through those, expected points, gained and lost on your team, the Seahawks have lost the second most in terms of point differential. And then when you look at NFL teams with the most salary cap space, do you know where the Seahawks are right now?
Top 10.
8th. That's absolutely right. Top 10, 38, just over $38 million in available cap space. So it's a little bit funky to look at this thing and be like, I am excited. There is not one move John Schneider has made or not made this offseason that I could look at and be like, I can't believe he did that. I totally disagree. Let Ken Walker go? Totally agree. Yeah, Kobe Bryant wouldn't have paid that. Like, I get it. Not one thing is, but didn't you feel like by now that there might be something coming back the other way that was bigger than Igbenogany? Like, it just felt like there was going to be something else that was going to offset that. And maybe dreaming of a Max Crosby deal was too great. Maybe thinking about Devon Achane or somebody else was too great. Maybe our eyes were bigger than their stomach, which happens. But it just, I don't know, we're over a month in, we're a month and a half in here since the Super Bowl. And it just feels like there's only really been exits and retentions.
Yep.
There hasn't been anything to come back and replace it. And while I'm with you, I get it. Jared Ives and some of those other guys that were on the roster last year, they liked them. I'm sure they did. But they didn't like him as much as Boye Mafe, or they would have been playing more than Boye Mafe. Like, they liked him, and they may grow into something, and that'll be great. And then you talk to yesterday to Field Yates, and it's like, all right, well, could you still get Max Crosby?
I think it would be two ones. Especially, it's going to be at least 2 ones because 32 is a lot different than 14.
All right.
So 2 ones, but it's got to be 2 ones plus something.
Okay, so essentially that market has
2
not
ones
changed
plus something?
at all. Yeah, because your one stinks.
Yeah, because remember, in the NFL world, there's typically, even in a great draft, there's not 20 guys that have first-round grades. This is not a blue-chip draft. I don't even know if there's 15 from what I've heard, maybe closer to 10 to 12. And even those are at positions that are not necessarily the premium positions. It's a running back, it's a safety, it's an off-ball linebacker. So, yeah, this one is really like a second-round pick.
Yeah.
But are you giving 2 firsts and something for Max Crosby at this stage?
Well, I was sort of hoping, and I think we all were sort of under the impression that, once the deal got nixed in Baltimore, that value would be a little bit lower, that some of the other teams,
bidders, right? There's guys off the market.
They found their stuff. Plus, the Raiders had spent a bunch of money on other people. So I think the thought process was, all right, well, then there's, maybe a better bargain to be had. But they don't seem to want to go down that direction. Okay, well, then what about Devon Achane?
Yeah, well, it sounds like they're not open for business on Achane. That being said, I think it would probably involve a first-round pick. I know that sounds crazy for a running back, but when it's pick 32, that's a scary thought, right? I mean, if you're Miami, pick 32, and what we've been talking about as a weak draft is not nearly as alluring as it would be in a different class.
Oh, my gosh. You're trying a first-round pick for a running back, Brock, who's in the last year of his deal?
No.
I mean, I get it. He did have 5 points. He led the league with 5.7 yards per carry last year. He's explosive. In a lot of ways, he's a perfect fit.
Yep.
And if it was a second-round pick, I think I'd do that. Because that's a late second. I would make that deal. I think I would, honestly. But otherwise, what, you're going to give him a first-round pick and then be in the same spot you were in with K9 a year from now? Like, that doesn't feel worth it, does it?
No, that's probably outside the realm. This conversation and these things are always instructive. And I appreciate you sticking to sports because it just further illuminates how fiscally prudent they are. They just don't. And that is, I think a lot of checks and balances in there. John would tell you that's not just him. He always gets the credit. He'll have the John Schneider show today with Bob and Dave. And he's the first, kind of like Mike McDonald is, to kind of disperse the credit on everybody else. Their capologists done a phenomenal job. Their analytics team, their personnel department, their scouting department. There is a plan. And it allows them, I think in many of these cases, to just have a budget, Salk, and kind of stick to a plan.
Trust the process.
And stick to their priorities in ways that a lot of other teams just cannot do.
And that's why I'm willing to, I'm not ranting and raving and saying, oh my God, they've made mistakes and they're going to stink and they're going to fall back and why haven't they done more? Like, I think they're doing the right thing. But even last year, right? Like, they're not, as we know, like, they're not first wave of, they still brought in DeMarcus Lawrence.
And Cooper Kupp. Like, there was, and Sam Darnold, because obviously they needed to replace the quarterback. But, like, there were still moves that were made. They still went into free agency and brought in guys that they thought would help. Yep.
They've done that this year, but in a very, very small way, right? They've really just kind of dipped their toe in just barely. So I am curious to see if there is a trade at some point here for somebody, and maybe that's
or the deal gets done. Right? Like those are the two boxes. A deal gets done with JSN or Spoon.
Mm-hmm.
Because that is the next step to be just really financially prudent. As Field Yates laid out really well, Salk, it allows you to pay JSN $40 million per year on paper and give him that average and let him say, I am the greatest in the game. I'm getting paid that way. But it's folded in to the last 2 years of the deal.
So you can spread. So if it's, let's say, $100 million, it won't. But let's use the number $100 million. Rather than it being $25 a year for 4 years, you can make it 100 divided by 6, right? Which is whatever that is. I'm not sure.
That's why you pick
somewhere
a
under
number
18,
like
17?
Why do you try to do that?
I don't know. It was easy to divide by 4 and 5. Unfortunately, 6 made it a little bit more complicated. We'll be right back. We'll give you guys everything you need to know, and we'll do it next on Brock and Salk.
16.6.
Having one of those days where a little of this would make things so much better?
Fastball, strike 3 called. He got him looking. How about that for a Cactus League debut? Cade Anderson striking out the side.
We got you. You can stream every Mariners spring training game live for free on the Seattle Sports app. Making lives better through Mariners baseball, one
Goodbye baseball
at a time. Home of your American League West champion Mariners.
Well, homeowners, are you stuck on the credit card treadmill? Are you just stressed because your consumer debts and your monthly payments are just simply too high? Well, Brock Salk here with a smart solution for you. Your home's equity in the Seattle Metro is probably larger than it's ever been. It's like you're sitting on a stack of cash. So consider a cash-out refinance with Tila Mortgage to consolidate those high-balance credit cards, second mortgages, home equity lines, credit, student loans, or simply get cash for that remodel you've always wanted as well. With interest rates finally coming down, consolidating your debt right now might just be the best decision you ever make. And with excellent client reviews and trusted in Washington State for over 25 years, Tila has got competitive rates on refinance, purchase, and reverse mortgages too. Tila, spelled T-I-L-A, is a name you can trust for truthful, honest, and ethical advice for all your mortgage needs. Give them a call this morning. 206-766-8888. That's 206-766-8888. Tila Mortgage LLC is a mortgage broker. MLS 2472046.
Opened in 1933, our family is still here, doing the right thing for your family.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
P&D Tree Service, local experts in tree removal for residential and commercial. Their team works fast to remove problem trees in your yard and neighborhood. If you were hit hard by the storm, P&D Tree will remove trees and clean up while minimizing impact on your landscaping. 24-hour emergency service, any job, big or small. Safe, efficient, and fast. P&D Tree Service turns multi-day jobs into a few hours, saving you time and money. Enjoy a clean, safe, and bright yard. PNDTreeservice.com.
Underestimating the trucking industry is one of the biggest mistakes I see victims and other lawyers make. Trucking companies have an army of lawyers and experts who act quickly after an accident to protect the company. Only an experienced trucking accident lawyer can navigate the complicated federal and state laws to protect your rights. If you or a loved one has been injured in a trucking accident, call Davis Law Group today for a free consultation or get my free book on trucking accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com.
I've always wanted to learn French, but the app I tried didn't help.
If you want to memorize words in another language, there's an app for that. But if you want to really learn another language, there's Babbel. Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different. Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Babbel feels like it was created intentionally by people who really know what you need to learn another language. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Want to really learn another language? Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com to save up to 50%. Babbel.com.
We've all been there, sleepless nights, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy knowing we're here for you. BayAlarm.com.
Get broadcast times for every Three Tree Roofing Mariners Cactus League broadcast.
Holy smokes, he does it again!
At SeattleSports.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Presented by Marquee Data. Here's what you need to know. Up first.
All right, Mariners roster, Brock, basically now back together with just kind of waiting on a couple of guys. But the offense starting to show its teeth yesterday. Luke Raley, the star, a couple home runs. Tape measure shot 437 feet. An absolute cannon. Randy Arozarena with a home run. Brendan Donovan with a lead. Did he ambush this one?
New third baseman Brendan Donovan leading off the bottom of the first inning with a swing and a drive deep to right field. Lyra going back to the warning track to the wall. Goodbye, baseball. Brendan Donovan, first pitch swinging. Holy smokes, his first home run of the Cactus League season, and the Mariners have a 1-0 lead here in the bottom of the first.
He ambushed it, Brock.
Yeah, he doesn't look to do that, so that's not his game.
No.
But he'll run in every so often into one of those.
Yeah. Got to ambush that fastball.
I like that.
You got to ambush it. Luke Raley, though, was ridiculous. That home run. Have you seen the home run that he hit?
Yeah.
Oh, my Lord. He got all of that one. Dan Wilson afterwards.
Pretty good offensive day. I thought Luke Raley obviously is the story. 3 or 4 RBIs, I think, today, really driving the ball, all parts of the ballpark, and we've seen that the last couple days. Really good to see Luke coming around.
Yeah, he is. He continues to be my big X factor for them this year, Brock. Just kind of a sleeping giant that didn't do anything last year. He was hurt, on and off, and really kind of had a lost season, but he's got the power, he's got the speed. Like, there's just a bunch of things he brings that I think have value.
And Emerson, spread out 8 hits over about 4 innings or so?
3 2/3, gave up 3 runs. Apparently was throwing his sweeper more, which is a newer pitch for him.
Okay.
And probably, look, I was saying, I'm glad he's changing things up a little bit. Mm-hmm. He's sort of at a point where I think he needed to. Like, it's time. Like, either he hadn't been as effective as he wanted to be.
Mm-hmm.
Change it up. See if there's another pitch. See if there's something you can do to kind of change a little bit of who you are. And it sounds like so far it's actually had some effect. And we'll see whether or not he's the guy who makes some of these early starts while we wait for Bryce Miller. In the meantime, J.P. Crawford is going to take a couple more days off after getting what did turn out to be a cortisone shot. Here was John Morosi with Wyman and Bob.
I'm of the mind that if JP is going to see a specialist in the middle of March, that seems concerning. And I don't know, believe me, I don't know the full extent of exactly everything that's going on in the shoulder. But a lot of the TikTok of this story makes me a little concerned about where he's at physically with the arm. And I do think there's a fairly good chance that we see Emerson starting some games at shortstop before the start of May. What the exact timeline is, hard to say at this moment in time, but I do believe that Emerson's, even though he's not 100% a finished product, him plus Rivas, I think, is a workable solution for the near term, and then see where you're at once JP's healthy. Hopefully it's sooner rather than later, but the news that I've been seeing on it doesn't seem terribly optimistic about his ability to not just be on the roster and be active, but be his full effective self. That has to be the standard.
So I'm with him on the JP thing. Brock, do you know how many plate appearances JP has so far in spring training?
Not a lot. It's like got to be around 10.
18.
Yeah.
I mean, just not enough to go out there and say, okay, I'm ready for the season, I would think. So I would be surprised if JP starts the season, but it's still hard for me to imagine it's going to be Colt Emerson in that role right away at that age. Not saying it's impossible. It doesn't feel like the direction, but we'll see. Could be fun. Fun if it is.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
You ready for this again, Brock?
Wilson takes a snap. 3-man rush. Looking, scrambling. Now he's going to roll. Now he's going to stop and set. Back at the 40, lets it fly to the end zone. Going to give his guys a chance. Going up, coming down. Does he come down with it? Does Golden State have it? He's in the end zone. He has! Oh my God, he's got it! Touchdown, Seahawks!
That was a game-winning touchdown right there. I don't care what you think or what they think. If it was a catch or no catch, it is what it is. The referee called a touchdown. I did my job, point blank in the story.
Golden Tate comes down with the ball in the corner of the end zone with no time left on the clock. How did he do it?
Or did he do it?
Damn, Rave's fired up. Was that a playoff game?
No, it
that was a
wasn't.
September game.
That was September.
Do you remember what followed the Fail Mary? You and I stood on that hill.
2 straight weeks of calls.
Oh, Florio wanted him to give the game.
Yeah.
Just take it back. Just admit they were wrong.
Yeah.
Oh,
they weren't wrong. They were right. It was a touchdown. Anyway, the reason I play it is that the NFL and NFL Refs Association, their agreement expires in May. Negotiations have stalled. Kevin Seifert reporting the league has already begun looking for replacements. So prepare yourself for Fail Mary Part 2. Seahawks re-signed Cody White yesterday, played about a quarter of the offensive snap. So, again, a lot of these Cody White-style moves, which are good. Happy to see them.
Did you say played a quarter of the offensive snaps?
That's what Morris said. Yeah, that's what she wrote down here. 27%. Is that right? Maybe
Pro Football Reference.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. Bunch of special team snaps.
A lot of special team snaps.
It felt hot, but I don't know. Maybe we should go back and look at that. I said it, though, because it was there.
No, you said it confidently.
I'm Ron Burgundy.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Oh, man. Not much change in the standings, Brock. So the Kraken cling to the wild card spot with just 15 games to play. Start a tough road trip in Nashville tonight. Good news on the WNBA front. They did agree in principle with their Players Association on a new deal. Essentially, a new salary cap goes from $1.5 million to $7 million. That is remarkable. Average revenue is going to be a share of about 20%. Which is different. It's tying it to revenue. Supermax deals for players starting at $1.4 million. And then the average salary should be around $600,000 with the minimum over $300,000. I saw people tweeting from the league saying that when I started, I was making $45,000 a year.
That's right.
So for that to go from $45,000 to $300,000, it's a major, major difference.
Yep, just keep those eyeballs on it. Keep the product growing. Keep the media deals flowing, right? Because as the eyeballs are on it, those media deals get bigger and bigger.
Here's Brianna Stewart talking with Freddie and Harry about how, remember the Unrivaled thing they've got, the 3-on-3 thing that they built? Said that it actually sort of helped with the structure here.
What we could take from Unrivaled was just the way that players were treated and how we had a standard to make sure that everybody had access to everything that they needed to build their basketball, build their game in a way where they can get better, but also to build their brand. And, for that to be the standard as far as what players expect in their unrivaled clubs, but also their franchises with the WNBA. And you'll see that continuing to grow and change, over this next term of the CBA, because we're in a space that we've never been before, and really need to kind of be appreciated as such. And I'm just really excited for where we're going. Like, I can't wait.
Fascinating that the word building their own brand features that heavily.
Yeah, you got your bracket in, Salky? March Madness?
Did not.
No.
Was I supposed to do that? When does it start?
Yes. Like now. Salk. Be a team player, dude. Just get your brackets. It's not that hard. Get your brackets in.
All right.
And Morris sent over the numbers. Cody played in just 10 games, so that's why it didn't feel quite right for quarter of the snaps. But in those 10 games, he did. He played 165 snaps.
Okay, so a quarter of the
Never
snaps
doubt
of
Mora.
the games he was in.
That's right.
Yeah, well, that's
That makes
fine.
sense.
All right.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That makes more sense. That makes sense. All right, I'm on that. That's everything you need to know. Quarter past every hour here on the Brock and Salk Show. Is it, though? I mean, now we got to start worrying
Salk,
about
seriously,
everything.
Get your bracket in.
No.
Salk.
No.
Lyle, Mora, did you guys get your brackets in?
I did.
Thank you. Good team player. Lyle?
I don't think I did.
Oh, jeez. My gosh.
That's much
Lyle
funnier
doesn't
to
check
me.
his email.
Yeah. Do you not check your email?
I check it.
You don't check.
Lyle, everything you say is funny, even when you don't mean it to be, and then sometimes when you do. Remarkable.
Lyle, did
You're
you
on
enjoy
the email that Lefko sent with the bracket invite.
Yep.
He
Lyle,
did. I
you
actually didn't see
enjoy
that. Did he send an email?
Yes.
Oh, so you and Lyle both didn't.
I legitimately didn't see it.
Wow.
Maybe
And Kyle's
follow-up.
follow-up. You didn't see Kyle's follow-up email?
No. Did it go to bulk, maybe? I didn't see it.
Wow.
It's not on my radar. All right, we'll be right back, Brock. Something that's very much on my radar as we count down the 10 most intriguing Mariners in today's. Well, he started off at this number. He may end up being higher when it's all said and done. It's next on Brock and Salk.
4 Down Territory. Michael Bumpus answers the top 4 football questions of the day.
You watched every target to Rashid Shaheed, so what did you see?
He's good off the line. I like his release. He has a couple releases that he goes to that works. And the reason why they work is because he's extremely fast. You have to respect everything that he does. I think that once he gets on a defender's hip, he is gone. The saying, if he's even, he's leaving. That is exactly him.
Catch every 4 Down Territory on the Seattle Sports app.
All right, hey, Mike Salk here. Are you thinking about GLP-1 injections? Is that something that's crossed your radar for weight loss? Because before you start doing it, you got to ask some questions, right? Like, are you prepared to spend $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a year and then stay on that medication long-term just to maintain the results? That's a lot, man. A lot of prescription weight loss injections require weekly shots, and when the medication stops, well, then so does the weight loss. In fact, the weight regain is very common. Most people don't realize research shows that a significant portion of the weight lost actually can come from muscle, which may slow your metabolism and make keeping that weight off even harder than it was before. That's why Eastside Weight Loss Clinic takes a totally different approach. Doctor-developed program. It helps people lose 20 to 30 pounds in just 60 days. Men and women, no injections, no hormones, no synthetic stuff, no long-term dependence, nothing like that. You're using real food that you buy at the grocery store, and it helps reset your metabolism, control hunger and cravings naturally, and it helps your body burn fat, not muscle. You can do it at the clinic in Kirkland, or you can all do it from home. It's super easy. They got great remote options. Schedule your free consult to learn more at eastsideweightlossclinic.com. Keep that weight off for good. Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
Indeed presents hires you can't afford to get wrong, like a staff accountant at the height of tax season.
Congrats. Looks like the company owes, $50 in taxes. How about that?
That seems low. Why only 50?
Why do you care so much? It's not your money.
This is a job for sponsored jobs. This is what happens when you don't sponsor your job on Indeed. Next time, get matched with quality candidates with Indeed sponsored jobs. Visit Indeed.com/hire now and sponsor your job today.
At the American Lung Association, we're fighting for a day when we can all breathe easier. We're fighting for clear skies over every city and healthy lungs throughout the country. We're fighting to free millions of Americans from the addictive grip of tobacco and the devastating effects of lung disease. The American Lung Association isn't just fighting for air, We're fighting for all the things that make it worth breathing, and we can use your help. See what you can do at fightingforair.org.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
The March sales event is on at Toyota of Renton. Finance the 2026 Corolla LE or the Corolla Cross L at 4.99% APR for 72 months, or lease the 2026 Camry LE at $279 a month for 36 months with $39.99 due at signing. Find them at toyotaofrenton.com. Offers valid through March 31st, 2026 on approved credit through TFS. Excludes taxes, titles, licenses, dealer accessories, and a $200 negotiable documentation fee. Model 1852 6302 2552.
O'Brien.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and, of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
Hey, it's Dave Wyman speaking to those who have recently been diagnosed with prostate cancer. It's important to know you have several options for treatment. I'm here with Dr. Meyer, medical director of the Swedish Radiosurgery Center, to talk about one of the best and technologically advanced treatment options, CyberKnife. Dr. Meyer, why is CyberKnife one of the best procedures to treat prostate cancer?
Well, treatment for prostate cancer can affect men's quality of life. It can affect their romantic life. It can affect their urine and bowel function. And the CyberKnife does the best job of preserving that function while having excellent cancer control rates.
What do your patients think of the CyberKnife treatment experience?
Well, at the Swedish CyberKnife, our patients are really satisfied with the experience. They report very few side effects, and we are seeing excellent cancer control 10 years later.
To learn more about CyberKnife for prostate cancer, go to swedish.org/CyberKnifeProstate or call 206-320-7187. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish CyberKnife.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
It's been a fun countdown, Brock. I enjoy the most intriguing. Obviously got me in some trouble last year. I screwed up the most intriguing, but still, I do enjoy it because it gives you an opportunity to talk through the storylines for the season in a different way while focusing on a different player every day. We've gone through the honorable mentions like Canzone and Robles and Kirby. We've gone through number 10, Cole Young, number 9, Luke Raley, who might have been too low on this list. We'll see. Number 8, Logan Gilbert. Yesterday, number 7 was Brendan Donovan, and that leads us to...
Oh, gosh.
Number 6.
Nice work, Lyle. Well done. Well done. Randy Arozarena. Still fun to say, and he is the number 6 most intriguing Mariner for all kinds of reasons, Brock. I want to be clear. When I built this list, it had nothing to do and was before any of the soap opera style drama that took place at the WBC and is likely to take place today. I'm sure there'll be a fight in the clubhouse when Cal returns and he and Randy see each other for the first time. You always see, media folks hanging around the clubhouse. Say, why? Well, what if there's a fight and I miss it? Today's the day, guys. Make sure you're ready. WWE style. Going at each other. Triple H and The Rock. I really enjoy Randy Arozarena on the baseball field. Fascinating baseball player to me because he's just so unbelievably talented, Brock. He's got a lot of different skills. He can get on base. He's got a good eye. He can hit for power. He can run. He's in the last year of his deal, something you've mentioned a couple of times. It's why Adam Jude mentioned him as one of his top X factors for the team this year.
The next guy I'd point to is Randy Arozarena, a guy we haven't really talked about or written about a whole lot, I feel like, this spring, but this is his platform year. 30-30 means a lot to him. He was really trying to get that at the end of last year and kind of got out of his approach, I felt like. They obviously put him at the top of the lineup and, really struggled there in September and October. If he can bounce back and be the 3-WAR guy that he's been really the bulk of his career, hitting in the 5th spot. They don't need him to bat leadoff anymore. That obviously lengthens this lineup even more, and you just feel really good about what they have offensively.
Yeah, I mean, it's 100% true. There are question marks with Randy. There's no doubt about it, right? I know, Brock, a lot of the frustration that you have, and I think when you hear that sound, it speaks to it as well. Like, why was he getting out of his approach just to get to 30-30? And if that was happening, why were they leaving him in that spot? Like, okay, just take him out of the leadoff spot then. Don't continue to allow him to have those sorts of problems. So there are some confusing elements, which, again, part of the reason that he's on an intriguing list, not just a list of the best players on the team. But at the end of the day, he's intriguing not just because he's mercurial, but because he's talented. This is going back to last year, but in July, Jordan Schusterman, in one of his appearances that he does with Bump and Stacy, was talking about Randy and said this.
Randy is not getting nearly enough love. Randy Arozarena is a freaking star. And, not only does he have, that star power, he's been so productive. And, this is going about as well as you could possibly hope. I mean, you're getting one of the best versions that we've seen from him. I mean, sure, he'll never be we're never going to see what he did in October of 2020 ever again. But this is what you hope for. This is why you trade for a guy last year that had multiple years of team control, that he could be this productive. I don't think Randy's getting nearly enough praise for what he's been in this lineup. And as you point out, especially recently, it's a huge difference. We talk about, this lineup's so this is the same thing every year. It's like, no, Randy has not been around. This is a new character that needs to be, I think, appreciated. And if he can keep it going, I think it's a big part of why I think that they have a real chance of making the postseason.
He did keep it going for a while. Eventually, he did not, and they made the postseason. Obviously, went on a good run anyway. But it's just those first words. Randy's a freaking star. He has star power. If he can go out and play like that in his contract year, it would be an incredible bonus for this franchise this year.
Yeah, I'm not going to say he's a star, nor has star power. Not in this market either. Not unfortunately, maybe if he was in New York or LA, it would be a whole lot easier for him, Salk. I mean, how long did it take for the country to recognize Cal Raleigh as a star? And Julio Rodriguez, and all of his charisma and all that he can do, right? I mean, their star list in baseball.
I think he's talking about the talents that he has, Brock.
He flashes. He'll have a month where he is absolutely that.
Yeah.
Where he's one of the best in baseball. He has a ceiling that can do that. He also has a floor that's, kind of brings all that back to earth. But he's a 120, WRC plus. He was almost a 3-WAR player last year.
Yeah.
So the capability is there. It's tantalizing because he is one streaky dude. And when he is hot, which, that's what this lineup has. It has some guys that are going to get hot for a month that can carry that lineup for a month. Julio can get hot for a month or two and carry that lineup for a month or two.
Yep.
This lineup got a lot of that. And where he's going to sit in it is a whole lot healthier and I think more helpful, sitting at 5, 6, 7 in the lineup rather than where he was trying to set the table for others.
Yeah, I think that's all very
true. And then the
true.
defense is the other part of it. That's what makes Cal and Julio and the stars, even Aaron Jett.
He knows what he's doing on defense. Stay away from Julio. He's really good at it.
Yes, he is.
If any ball goes near Julio Rodriguez in the left center gap, you know what he does? gets the hell away from it. Oh, Julio's near that? I'm just going to walk away because if I injure Julio, that's the end of this whole thing. So, Brock, he is mercurial. He is at times selfish, at times streaky.
Yep.
There are negatives on the Randy Arozarena front that I absolutely grant you, and you've picked up on all of them since he first got here. But he's also got just a unique level of talent that I find fascinating, and he does it all with a big personality, at least on the field, that I think has its pluses and minuses, but I think in general on the field it's been more plus than minus. So, Randy, number 6 most intriguing Mariner, because when you put all of those things together, and now, let's be honest, add the fact that you don't know how happy he is, or unhappy he is, or content he is, or whatever word you want to use.
Well, and add the fact that he dog-cussed the best player on your team.
I mean, I'm putting those two things together. They seem to be related.
So, yes.
Like, how is that going to function? Is Randy going to be here the whole year? Is he happy enough and content enough to keep quiet and just do his thing and try to get his numbers and play the team game that they want? Or at some point, are they going to say either this guy's unhappy or he's not playing in the same sort of unselfish way we need, or he wants out of here, and they end up either trading him or moving on from him in some way. They're paying him a lot of money in the last year of his deal here. So there are a number. I just feel like we're going to end up talking about Randy a lot over the course of this season. Hence his inclusion as the number 6 most intriguing.
And when he made the list, to be fair to Salk, I mean, to be fair to me, to be fair to Salk,
fair to my comments,
to be fair to Salk's list, you made this list before a lot of the drama.
Sure.
So does the drama end today? Is this it? It's today, Thursday, March 19th. 5 spring training games to go. That is it. We are exactly 7 days from the start of the regular season. Is today the day that Manny and Danny and Cal and Randy and Julio and whoever else needs to be involved just says, okay, enough's enough. Let's just get to the bottom of it. Let's sit down as grown men. Let's look each other in the eye. Let's let out what we need to let out, and let's put this to bed and be done with it. Is today the day that transpires? Is today the day the movie ends? Because eventually the never-ending story ended, Salk.
Did it?
I don't know how it ended. I don't remember any of it.
That weird long flying dog, I'm sure, had a role in it.
I think our guest in 45 minutes was a big fan of the never-ending story, Chris Egan.
Really hit some high notes on that sucker, man. Really hit some high notes there.
Today the day it ends. Today the day that cooler heads have prevailed. Enough time and enough emotion has left the room. That honestly, those guys,
probably not.
You don't think so?
There's no evidence that it will. Plus, Brock, as you know, I'll never let it go. Oh, that's you go. Sorry. Oh, my bad. I don't know. Honestly, Brock, I have no idea. I'm not saying it won't. I'm not saying it won't. I really have no idea. Julio was back, didn't talk about it. I don't know whether he met with media at all. He didn't seem to have been asked about it, so I'm assuming he didn't really have a lot of conversation or opportunity with the media to be asked about it or address it or anything like that. Cal wasn't there yesterday. I would assume he'll be back today, but other guys have taken, an extra day or two, and maybe Cal will as well, just to kind of collect himself before returning. And I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Would you like it? Would you like that to happen? Because I would.
Yeah,
just the way that I'm wired, just the way that team sports I've been around, is I don't want that stuff to linger. I don't want it to simmer.
You're a week before opening day. Of course I would like to see that come to an end. Just find a way to end the thing. But again, like he cussed out one of the top players on his team.
Yes, he did.
There's got to be some, and I know that there are a lot of guys, and I think this is the best part of this never-ending story, is how many of the Mariner players are so focused on this being a season that nothing can screw up, that they are going to do everything in their power, I think, to try to make it right, to placate if they think that's what it needs or whatever. Like, I don't think anyone is going to go out there and be like, I'm going to show this guy and prove a lesson to him or anything like that. I don't think that's going to happen. I think everyone is going to say, like, we need this to work, so I am not going to go out of my way to try to, create a bigger problem here. In fact, I want to try to quash it. But I don't know. He's such an enigma. I don't know how they fix it.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I think the way you fix it, and this is life experience in different situations, either in business or in sport or in a team environment, the way it happens is to bring people I think eye to eye and face to face is just bring them in the room.
Yep.
And maybe Naylor's there, and maybe JP is there, and maybe Logan Gilbert is. I don't know how big that circle needs to get. I don't know what that needs to look like. Maybe it's just Cal and Randy and Danny. And Manny. I don't know, but I think there just has to be a final, and it would be so.
What if at the end of the day, and I'm speculating, I don't know what's going on. What if at the end of the day, Randy's just mad because he didn't have a contract? What if he's mad because he just doesn't want to be in Seattle? Like, hey, I'm in the last year of my deal, and I don't want to hit in this ballpark this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not saying that's true. I honestly don't know. I'm not going to pretend like I do. But if that's what's really bothering him, do you think that you're going to be able to, like, solve that with a face-to-face meeting? Maybe you can.
Yeah.
Maybe you can kind of rein him in and be like, hey, look, I know, but this is the best way.
I mean, you got to get to the bottom of, why you said these things about me, right? Yep. Like, I mean, you and I have had a few little brouhaha, back, especially back in the day. And when we have little brouhahas, we finally kind of eventually just get to the bottom of it.
Let me ask you another question, Brock. Whose responsibility is it? Is it Cal as the de facto captain of this team? Is it a combination of some of those leaders, Cal and Logan and JP and some of the guys that
I think knowing the way that Cal is wired, again, this is speculation.
Is this
We're not
something
in there every
Dan
day.
is supposed to be involved in?
Yeah.
Is this like Dan hasn't really had this kind of a challenge yet with, I mean, like, how does he handle this as the manager?
I think this would be his wheelhouse. I would imagine that this is going to be.
I would assume so.
An area where
but a lot of his strength, Brock, as we know, has been stepping away and giving that clubhouse over to the players. Yes. So does Dan stay out of this and kind of give them the opportunity to fix it themselves? Or is this when Dan actually needs to step in? I don't know the answer to any of these questions. I'm glad he's getting paid to figure that out rather than me, because I think they're all real questions. I just don't know how to do it.
And they have about 1.5 million more data points than you and I do on the outside. And even Ryan and Shannon and Daniel and all of them that cover that team on a daily basis, they have infinitely more kind of data points to try to understand where this came from. But if I'm Cal, and maybe I'm totally projecting here, but if I've had teammates that had a hard time with me and said stuff about me, like, where did this come from? Like, why did that, like, help me understand, like, where this came from?
So we had a hard time with you.
What's that?
Who had a hard time with you?
Oh, I could be a little hard and legalistic on teammates back in the day. So yeah. Why are you guys out?
Dane Looker.
What are you
Was it
doing?
Dan Looker? Was it Dan Looker? Never-ending story. Never-ending story.
No, it could end. No, it could all end today. Let it end. Let it end today.
This is Brock and Salk's Blue 88.
We're going to go red, right, tight, close, sprint left, G, U corner, halfback, flat, on one. Ready?
Brock Heward tackles 3 football questions as only he can.
Blue 88.
Now here's your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
A lot of text, 503. What's with the hate for Falcor the Luck Dragon? That's fair. 941. His name is Falcor, and he's a luck dragon. I know, but he looks like a giant, long, flying dog. Just saying.
His name was what?
Very creepy.
Falcor. Falcor the Luck Dragon.
I think I may need to watch some of that movie.
I don't think you do. Whatever you do, don't take that melatonin before you do, Brock. You'll be in some serious trouble for a week. Question number 1, Louis Riddick made a pretty resounding point here, Brock, on why there is so much more trade activity today. This came up, I think, a little bit because this is kind of behind the Browns' proposal to allow teams to trade picks 5 years out. The Browns need to be protected from themselves.
What are we doing?
They should not be doing that, but here's Louis Riddick.
Well, I think there's 2 reasons. One, I think timelines are condensed now as far as the amount of time that a lot of these GMs are being given to turn franchises around. And so guys are going to use every vehicle at their disposal, every method at their disposal to try and improve the football team. And one of the ways you can do that is by calling up your buddies and seeing if you can kind of work out a deal in a way that maybe you couldn't in the past. And the reason why, look, a lot of these GMs now, they've all come up through the ranks together. They were all either college scouts on the road who used from Oklahoma to Texas to Baylor to Texas A&M down to Rice down to Houston, and just make that trek throughout the country. And you're having dinners together, and then you're going in and watching tape together and talking about players, and you develop relationships. As you move up through the ranks, you become general managers. It's easier to pick up the phone and call a guy and say, hey, look, man, there's a guy who I have in mind who I really like on your roster. Maybe there's some people or some picks we're willing to get off up from us. I think this could help you. You could help me. And the friendship kind of allows you to kind of have that kind of conversation.
There's two other elements involved. I think that's really wise from Lewis, and I think there's a lot of truth to that. I would probably add two more elements to it. And number one is actually Lyle's world. Lyle's world of numbers and analytics. And we now have ways to kind of gauge this in just about every NFL team has different levels of it and investment in it, but they can speak that language. It's not just Buddy Nix, my scouting eye and my gut feeling on this. No, here's the analytics and here's speed and here's again data, right? Marquee data. Here's all the data. There's way more of that, and then ultimately too, Salk, these teams have a lot of cash compared to 20, 30, 40 years ago. These ownership groups and even the Browns out there in Cincinnati, there's cash on hand. They are reaping and making a lot of money these days. And I think that there's more freedom in that. We can eat this cash, or we got this dead cap money, or we got this cash that can sit in the escrow there in New York. And right, people are all pretty flush right now with capital, with a business that's just booming.
Question number 2.
You were distracted. You didn't like that answer? What?
No, it was a good answer.
What are you looking up? You looking up foul court?
No, it was a good answer. I also just think that when you hear him say teams are under more of a pressure than ever to win, that's why they need to be protected from themselves. You can't have a guy trading a draft pick 5 years out.
Come on, what are we doing?
And then
that honestly
gets fired
might be,
6 months later.
That's one of the dumbest proposals.
I don't understand why you would want to do that.
Bob asked Schneider in a very good way on the John Schneider show a couple weeks ago when we were down in the desert, and that show today, every Thursday leading up to the draft. And he was like, yeah, we go out 2 years for sure. 26, 27.
And they're allowed to go 3. But 5?
Once you get beyond 3 years of playing, what are we talking about, Cleveland?
Question number 2, Brock. Officials in the NFL, the refs union, starting to flex their strength. Yes. Why? Why are they doing this again?
Yeah, I think even compared to how long ago was that with the Phil Mary?
It was 2012.
13?
12. Russell was here. First, it was Russell's 5th game.
Golly.
Yeah.
That was 14 years ago?
Yeah.
How is that possible?
Yeah.
That was the year, the video that I sent to you of you and me when we looked like we were 12. And now we look...
I just gotten back from Vegas. I was with my buddy from Appleton, Wisconsin. We were watching that game together.
I think over the last 14 years, again, cash is a big part of this. The whole business is flourishing. We're talking about ripping up a TV deal or going to CBS and just saying, hey, CBS throw another $1 billion at us. We're talking about of the 100 shows on television. Where does the NFL games rank? Of those top 100 shows and ratings? Come on, feed the beast. And by the way, this is one element, again, back to economics, supply and demand, where there is not immense amount of supply. Official Salk, I'm looking at these same high school basketball officials of the last, 6, 7 years here, 10, he's still reffing? She's still reffing? Where's some young blood? Can we get some new people into this? The high school officiating? Titus, I'm waiting for one of these guys is going to go down this year. One of them's going to go down. And if we ever play a game that's warm, it's going to be heat stroke or something. They're going down.
All right.
They're in their 60s or 70s still. God bless them. But it's not like they're being replenished. So I think the supply chain and the cash on hand gives them a little bit more leverage than they even had 14 years ago.
All right, question number 3. The Seahawks, we don't like to chase edges, Brock. Give me another way in which they're doing so.
So we started the show talking about the lack of big, flashy, sexy, headlining moves. But the bottom line, Salk, is they have brought back and Cody White's a perfect example of it yesterday. They've brought back every special teams demon they have.
Chase Surratt.
Yes, they do. Chase Surratt and Brady Russell and Cody and all of our special teams guys.
Yeah.
Our core special teams guys. And guess what they're doing? They're coming back here because I know it isn't just talk. You guys walk it. It's important to you. You pay for it. I've got a role. I'm going to flourish in that role. Brandon Peedley, all of them. Every one of them has re-signed back here. because that number one special teams unit in the league won them some games last year, and more than likely will win them more in 2026.
All right, that is today's version of Blue 88. Of course, we do that every morning at quarter of 8, 7:45.
Long snapper's back
every day, huh?
Right, long snapper. You pay some money to, like,
special teams matters.
And in the scheme of things, when you look at the line item in the budget of what in totality those guys cost on that unit, yeah, it is, I think, a tremendous return on investment. Yep.
What is the secret of this enchanted book? What wonders are hidden within its pages? What magical spell does it cast on all who read it? What is the secret of the never-ending story?
But that's impossible!
What year?
Good question. Doesn't say here. Let's see if I can figure that out for you.
1984.
Thank you. More.
I just looked it up to see that creature again.
Imagination becomes a vivid reality.
God, this preview is so weird.
The world of Atreyu and Artax, the rock biter,
biters,
and the good and kind gnome.
Okay, that's enough.
A
These
world
people.
that is vast and eternal.
I haven't seen Falcor the dragon yet, though. How dare you turn
Wait,
that
the
off?
kid's name is Bastian Balthazar Buck?
Unforgettable.
Yeah, why not?
And free.
There he is. Oh, look at that dragon. It looks like a big dog. That's not a dragon. That is a giant, like, it looks like a King Charles Cavalier, King Charles Spaniel. That's like a long, drawn-out Cavalier King Charles.
How many drugs were used in the making?
All of them. All of the drugs were used in the making of the never-ending story, and that's the only answer to that question. How many drugs are used in the creation of Here's the Thing? I don't know. Only you guys would know the answer to that. I guess we'll find out together next on Brock and Salk.
9 out of 10 experts agree wearing earbuds at work is the universal signal for leave me alone. So grab the earbuds, pull up the Seattle Sports app, and trade that annoying coworker's endless yapping for this.
He's at the wall. Cal Raleigh's first one of the spring.
Listen to every Mariners spring training game live for free, only on the Seattle Sports app. Improving lives through Mariners baseball, one
Sparkling play by Josh Naylor
at a time.
At Uline, they know firsthand the road to success is an uphill climb. Uline started in the family basement, and through hard work is now North America's most trusted shipping and industrial supplier. They get what it means to have the support of reliable, hardworking partners. So they keep 41,000 items ready to ship. Whether your company is still in a basement office or expanding cross-country, Uline will be there on your road to success. Visit uline.com.
See country star Aaron Lewis and the State Liners at Muckleshoot Casino Resort, March 24th at 8 p.m. And now an added show on March 25th. He's a multi-platinum artist whose raw lyrics and powerhouse vocals have captivated fans for decades. Now he and his band, the State Liners, are coming to Muckleshoot Casino Resort. Get your tickets now to see Aaron Lewis at muckleshootcasino.com.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
Lee Johnson Auto Family.
The best path at that point was to stop for the night, and you go home and take a breath. She came back in the morning and bought the car. She was way happier.
The LJ way.
Think about this. In 2006, $20,000 equaled roughly 33 ounces of gold at the spot price. At today's prices, those 33 ounces would be worth over $150,000. Smart Americans diversify a portion of their savings into precious metals. That's why I buy gold from Birch Gold Group. It's a crucial part of my balanced strategy. Gives me peace of mind given all the events that could impact the U.S. economy. See if holding gold in a tax-sheltered retirement account is right for you, too. Birch Gold can help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA in gold. Just text my name, Dan, to the number 989898 to receive your free info kit on gold. There's no obligation, just useful information. With an A-plus rating with the Better Business Bureau and tens of thousands of happy customers, let Birch Gold help you diversify with gold. Now that's peace of mind. Text Dan to 989898. Again, text my name, Dan, to the number 989898 today. Message and data rates apply.
Jackson Hewitt has a great tax prep deal, $149 or less. Missing out is like ignoring the check engine light in your car. You'll regret it. Seriously, the price is only $149 or less, no matter how complicated. So don't wait. Like when you get a password expires today alert or you're shopping online and there's only one item left. It's like your taxes are in the cart. Just complete the purchase. Hurry. This deal for $149 or less is like your phone at 1%. It's about to power down. Limited time offer for new clients on federal returns. Participating locations only. Terms at jacksonhewitt.com/149.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
John always listens to his truck. So when his brakes start talking, he goes to AutoZone, where a helpful AutoZoner gets him the right parts. If John has time to put them in, he borrows a kit with Loan-A-Tool. And if he doesn't, he gets a free shop referral. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Deposit required for Loan-A-Tool. Restrictions apply.
The throw to first, and it's in time. Holy smokes, what a play by J.P. Crawford.
At T-Mobile Park, you've always got the best seat in the house. But if you're looking for a truly golden view, look no further than the seats on the first baseline, a.k.a. Trident Town. Post up behind the Mariners dugout, and you get a great view of Logan Gilbert, Brian Wu, and our entire rotation at work.
Play and a miss. Fastball upstairs, blew it by him, strike three.
Not to mention the best view of the best home run celebration in baseball. When the Trident goes up, you know a party's going down.
It is gone! Julio!
Mariners baseball. Trident's up.
The Mariners' first homestand is stacked. Don't miss opening day on March 26th. Cal Raleigh 60 home run bobblehead night on March 28th. Presented by Alaska Airlines. And a star-powered showdown against Aaron Judge and the Yankees. March 30th through April 1st. Get your tickets today at mariners.com.
We've all been there. Sleepless nights, mind racing, wondering if your business's security service is really protecting what matters. At Bay Alarm, we can put your security insecurities to bed. Video security, burglar alarms, fire alarms, access control, 24/7 monitoring, and more. Our advanced technology and personalized support ensure you can rest easy, knowing we're here for you, your people, and your business. Visit bayalarm.com to talk to a local security expert. Bay Alarm, we got you.
The countdown is on.
Just 7 days until opening day next Thursday against the Guardians at T-Mobile Park.
On the home of the American League West champion Mariners, Seattle Sports. KIRO AM Seattle.
Get in the freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
I don't read the internet, guys.
Take the bull by the hands.
And Brooke, you are. And Brooke, you are.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
989 says Neverending Story is awesome. He's a rock biter because he eats rocks. Yeah, I figured. Thanks. He gives the princess a name to end the movie and save the day. Oh, okay. Well, now you've ruined it. Thanks a lot, 989. Appreciate that. Spoiler alert, like some of us haven't watched the movie since 1984. All right, let's see what the people have for us today. They've been leaving us messages, Brock, throughout the week. You go to the Seattle Sports app, which by now I'm sure you've downloaded, and you click the little tab there to call in. And instead of actually calling, you get to just leave us a message.
Brock Heward doesn't just hate one kid.
I am so disappointed in Michael Salk.
You don't know what you're talking about. You're mindless. Love you, bye.
It's time for Brock and Salk's Here's the Thing.
Okay, here's the thing.
All right, let's get right into them today, Brock. We'll start with Sam.
Here's the thing. Or should I say, ecco il punto. That's Italian for here's the thing. Now, how do I know that? Because just like Salky's ever-patient wife, I, too, studied Italian in college. So, Salky, please tell her I said, arrivederci. Now, speaking of wives, my beautiful wife, Stephanie, is beginning her student teaching to become a special education teacher. And I'm just so proud, and I wanted to shout her out. And also just wanted to say that everyone that does that work and does it well are truly angels on earth. All right, boys, I'm sorry I got all soft on you. I won't let it happen again. Ciao.
Appreciate that. Ciao, Sam. Arrivederci.
Is Heather patient?
I mean, she's a therapist. I would say that kind of comes with the territory. She was not patient with me last night. Oof, she was mad at me last night.
What
I was kind of mad at her.
Ooh.
Yeah. We had a little tiff last night.
Oh.
Yeah. Not a big deal. It was not like the end of the world, but she's a little mad at me. I was a little mad at her.
Uh-huh.
You ever find... Nah, you know what? I'm just going to not go down this road.
Here we go.
No. I'm just going to not go down this road.
Let's do it.
Huh?
Let's work it out.
No,
you want me to?
Yeah.
So, no, I'm not going to go down there. I feel like this will actually get me in trouble. Here's Coleman.
Here's the thing.
Okay.
Brock.
Yeah.
Can you please take Salk to Grandview to introduce him to some street tacos? He totally bobbled that, man. Come on, get some lower value flavor in you, bud. Let's go. Go Seahawks, go Mariners.
I did kind of bobble that yesterday. That's on me. But I lived in L.A. for a while. I've had street tacos.
Lengua? Is that tongue?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, not a fan.
You're not a fan? And street tacos? Pretty good. I made them one time with my Wyoming cow tongue. You just
I always
put
find
that
it
thing
a little
crock pot.
Isn't it always a little chewy?
Nah, you put it in the crock pot long enough. You got to cook it way down.
I'm not saying I wouldn't eat tongue or that I haven't, but
yeah,
if I could avoid it, I think there's plenty of other things.
I mean, you eat
Can't
liver.
they just give it another name? Call it something other than tongue. Give it a name. Like if you called it something else, I wouldn't even question it. But if you're going to call it tongue,
But you don't
it's
have a
harder
problem
to
with
eat.
liver.
No, that's an internal organ.
What about heart?
Heart, you're going to have to call that something else too.
Okay.
Yeah, I think things like that, you're just going to have to give them a new name. It'll branding,
like
Brock.
liver.
It's a branding exercise.
Gotcha.
Speaking of Brocks.
So here's the thing, Mike Salk.
Uh-huh.
Next time you want us to call in and talk about the Sonics on air, how about we talk about my dead dog instead? Thanks.
Is that what I did? I'd like to clear my name on this one. First of all, Brock was the one who wanted to take calls on the Sonics. It didn't work. None of you had an opinion on it, which was truly shocking. 20 years of waiting for the team to come back. We're like, hey, they're coming back. What are you guys saying? Nothing. Endless silence on the other end. Second of all, it wasn't about talking about your dead dog. It would be like, hey, you got a new puppy. Can you tell me about him or her?
Come on, Brock.
It wasn't tell me about your old dog that just died. It was tell me about your new puppy. What's the matter with you, Brock? Get it together. That's ridiculous. I'll defend myself on that. Or even Brock, because it was his stupid idea.
Mm-hmm.
Here's Anthony.
Here's the thing. The WBC was amazing. But let's play this 3-year amazing baseball tournament at the end of our normal MLB season. And let's see who the real dogs are.
You're going to do that at the end of the season. So before the playoffs or after the playoffs? Because if you do it after the playoffs, some of the players have been off for a full month.
Yeah,
if you do it
Everybody
before
would
the
just
playoffs,
fail.
that's never
They'd
going to
either
happen.
already be on vacation or they'd be exhausted.
Yeah, that's a non-starter.
Yeah,
Did you see Max yesterday? Who's talking about this? The pitcher, Max
Scherzer.
Scherzer, thank you. Max Scherzer. His idea was to just do it 2 weeks later, so that guys are a little more stretched
Built
out.
up.
Yeah. Not a bad idea.
Yeah.
There's something to that. But I think the guys want to get back into spring training and have a little bit of time first. So there's no good answer to this. They do the best they can. Here's Brady.
This is Brady from Bellingham.
Sure is.
Here's the thing. I'm ecstatic. A Super Bowl parade and now the Mariners are on their way. A fanatic. I feel like they about to bring the Sonics back. Hey, I'm ecstatic. A Super Bowl parade and now the Mariners are on their way. A fanatic. I hear that they about to bring the Sonics back. Hey, bring the Sonics back. Bring the Sonics back. Seattle Supersonics. Seattle's on the attack. And now they're about to bring the Sonics back. Yeah. Seattle Supersonics. Thanks, y'all.
Yeah. Yeah.
You like the yes.
That was my favorite part. Yeah. Seattle's on the attack. So Brady, nice voice. He can sing.
I thought he had a good voice.
Was he the one mixing? Was that the one for Lyle? Was there? Did I see a note, something for Lyle mixing?
No, that's Danny.
Oh, that's
We're getting
Danny
there.
coming up. Oh,
Why don't you wait?
He mixed him up with Manny earlier. He can't wait for Danny.
You really, Brock.
Oh, there it is. I see. Okay.
17 years of killing the bit. Really amazing.
I haven't killed anything.
Not yet. No. You're trying. Here's Tim.
Here's the thing. I'm 38 years old, 5'5", 150 pounds, never married, no kids, not religious in any way. Based on those stats, does Brock even want me as a listener of the show?
Yes.
I feel like all of that is suboptimal to him.
That's okay, Timmy. I welcome all.
But you don't approve of any of those things, right? Let's run through them again. Hold on.
Here's the thing.
Okay,
I'm 38 years old.
That one's fine. You can be 38, right?
Sure.
5'5".
5'5", Brock?
Sure.
You don't have a comment for someone who's 5'5"?
Absolutely
not.
not.
Oh, you don't see a 5'5" guy walking around and make a comment? You just leave that alone?
His name was Chase Hanish. He ran for 1,500 yards for us at Valor this year. He says he's 5'9". He's 5'5". I love Chase Hanish.
Absolute liar.
150 pounds.
150 pounds. You have no comment about a 150-pounder walking around.
Lean and mean.
Never married.
Never married.
Man, that's rough.
No kids.
No kids. I mean, it's better than never married kids for you, right?
Not religious in any way.
Uh-oh.
Yeah,
that was a rough go.
I think suboptimal. I think he's right. I think that's what Brock would call that.
But I welcome you all.
Not ideal.
Everybody has a Tim. Everybody's got a role on the team.
Not
brother.
ideal.
Everybody got a role on the team.
There's room for growth.
Yeah. His role is for Brock to try to change him in every conceivable way.
You might start on special teams. I mean, you might be a special teams guy. But that's okay.
And then when you get married, you get bumped up.
Uh-huh.
You get married, you might make your way into the starting offense.
Oh.
Yeah. Moro, how's your view from special teams for the last 5 years? At least an engagement might get you put on to I don't know. Let's finish up with Danny.
What about the previous engagement I had?
That one doesn't count.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, that was a failed attempt.
Man.
Hey, you got a chance at starting tackle. You got run over. Now you're back on special teams again.
Here's the thing, Lyle, I've combined Shakespeare with Gen Z slop so that you can try and understand Shakespeare more. Hark! My eyes have gazed upon a sight most cursed, for the phantom tax hath been levied upon my feast. Is this the gat that was promised, or merely a phantom of the skibbity? Pray let us examine the riz of this noble knave. Doth he possess the aura of a king, or but a Delulu jester lost in the sauce of his own making? He speaketh of sigmas, yet his countenance is that of a beta, desperate for the clout that flees him, like a thief in the night. To be or not to be locked in, that is the query. Forsooth, the vibes are truly rancid, and I shall mew in silence until the heavens themselves declare, no cap on God. All right, Lyle, what's your best guess? What does it mean?
I mean, absolutely no clue. I was just counting all the Gen Z words.
Yeah.
I counted about 10. That was pretty good.
Most of them were kind of lame, but I like that he got mew in there. That one's my favorite, the mewing. You know about mewing?
Yeah, I can't give you a word-by-word definition of it, but it's essentially you don't talk, but it's also a way to try to straighten your jawline.
You straighten your jawline and kind of, it's a way of, you're working on your jawline.
Right.
It's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Of all the things that are dumb, that one's high on the list. The others are slang changes, fine, whatever. Okay. But mewing is...
I don't know if Riz is slang change.
What do you mean?
That's slang change?
I mean, they used to call it something else. Now, they used to call it game. Now they call it Riz. Just changing the name. That's fine. I got no problems with that. Every generation gets their own words. All right, here's the thing. You can leave us messages, of course, Brock, on the app. Poor Tim. He really...
Here's the thing. I'm 38 years old, 5'5", 150 pounds, never married, no kids, not religious in any way.
Poor guy. Don't go to Brock's house, man. You'd be very... if you could find your way through, if the armed guard and everything else, the butler let you in, you would have a lot of difficulty.
All are welcome,
A lot of difficulty. All right, Chris Egan is going to join us in 20. He usually has a kind word or two for you, Brock. We'll do that after everything you need to know next.
Breaking news this morning from ESPN.
Is it finally happening?
Good golly, Miss Molly.
ESPN's Shams Charania, the NBA, will go next week to explore adding expansion teams in Vegas and Seattle. Joining us now, Shams himself.
The NBA is projecting that both Seattle and Las Vegas would immediately jump into the top 8 of revenue-generating teams.
Stay caught up on the latest at seattlesports.com. and Seattle sports on 710, the app, and YouTube.
Flying chickens in a barnyard.
Hey, Brock Hewitt here for my friends over at People Come First, PCF Construction Group. Spring is the perfect time to start planning your dream deck. And right now, PCF is making it easier than ever to get started with 50% off your custom professional design and architectural drawing package. What does that mean? That means you can save over $9,000 on your project. And with 12 months of no interest, no payment financing, you can design your deck now and pay later. Most people who start with the design package, like we did some years ago with PCF, you end up with the outdoor space that we always wanted. You can too. This offer is your first step to doing so. Don't wait until summer to wish you had started sooner. Do what Molly and I did. Contact PCF Construction Group today. Get your project ideas, browse the amazing photos, and find all the offer details at PCFgroup.com. That's PCFgroup.com.
Baseball season is in full swing, and Toyota of Kirkland is kicking things off with two lineup standouts, the Camry and the Corolla. Whether you want the Camry's smooth power or the Corolla's reliable efficiency, these are the cars built to get you to every first pitch. Take a test drive today so you can take home your new Toyota that same day. No waiting, no extra innings. Step up to the plate at Toyota of Kirkland or online at toyotaofkirkland.com. That's toyotaofkirkland.com.
O'Brien. Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin.
Couponing. Wow, you didn't strike me as the coupon type.
Just trying to stay ahead of inflation. Gas, groceries, everything. It's all more expensive. I need to save wherever I can.
Have you tried Upside yet?
Upside? What's that?
It's a free app that I use that pays cash back for every gallon of gas I buy. You've got to buy gas to get around anyway. Might as well get paid for it.
Come on, does that really add up to anything?
I've already made around $200. The extra cash helped pay down my bills, and I even had a little extra left to treat myself.
And the Upside app is free?
Totally free, and the cash back is real. You can transfer the cash right to your bank account.
I'm downloading Upside right now.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code ENJOY to get an extra 25 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code ENJOY for a 25 cents per gallon bonus.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying two phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
Let's talk about your hair. Well, maybe after we talk about my hair. I've got great hair, as you know, and it's because of Advanced Hair. Yep, Advanced Hair Restoration. Their simple one-day treatment offers life-changing results that I can attest to. Guys, it's not magic, but it's close to it. They put hair where you need it most, and bam, it grows. It's actual science. Advanced Hair has top-rated physicians, modern technology, and best of all, you get your very own natural hair that begins to regrow the very next day. It's even guaranteed to grow for life. So schedule your free consultation now at 425-449-8185. Mention Curly to qualify for $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. It's a limited time offer. Advanced Hair, the winner of the 425 Business of the Year, and the team that gave me my hair back. More importantly, they'll do the same for you, guaranteed. 425-449-8185 or advancedhair.com.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. Never miss out on great candidates with ZipRecruiter.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Presented by Marquee Data. Here's what you need to know. Up first.
You know what a cannon shot sounds like, Brock? A lot like this.
Swung on, tag, high, deep, center field. This is going to go. It's on the berm. Luke Raley, a 3-run bomb. A no-doubter. And the Mariners lead 4-1.
437 feet, no biggie.
So at some point in your life, you know what you should do?
Hit a 437-foot home run.
You should go to a Montana Grizzly football game in Missoula, Montana.
Okay.
Because they have a cannon that they shoot, and it is the loud. It gets you every time.
I like
Even though
a good cannon.
Oh my gosh, it might be the most ferocious cannon in sports. I mean, it's like the bass in those old cars, it just gets you. It just makes your heart jump.
Well, he just destroyed that one. Dan, happy overall with the offense.
Pretty good offensive day. I thought Luke Raley obviously is the story. 3 or 4 RBIs, I think, today, really driving the ball, all parts of the ballpark, and we've seen that the last couple days. Really good to see Luke coming around.
Yeah, again, I'm going to keep throwing his name out there as a big X factor for me this year. I started the show, Brock, at 6, asking where you're going to try to come up with the next, whether it's 15, 20, 25 home runs that you may lose with Cal this year. Again, just speculating. Mm-hmm. And one way to get a bunch of those back, I think, is through Luke Raley, a guy who's got big home run power and wasn't able to use much of it last year. The team hit 238 home runs as a team last year. Give me an over-under for this year.
Where did that rank in baseball?
Third.
Yeah.
For the record, 10th would be just under 200.
Yeah, that's about where I'm at.
I thought it'd be higher than that. I think.
Really?
I think they still.
I think they can hit 200 home runs.
I think 220, 225. I think they can still hit a lot of home runs. But it's not going to all just be one person.
Cole, yeah. I think Cole Young can add a piece here or there. Naylor's going to get you hopefully 20.
Yep. I think Luke Raley brings more. I think Dominic Canzone could bring more. You're going to lose Polanco's and you're going to lose Cal, some from Cal, but I still think they can certainly get over 200.
Yeah.
And I would hope closer to 225 when it's said and done.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
Seahawks signed Cody White yesterday, re-signed the wide receiver. He played a fair amount when he was on the team, actually, as we looked up earlier. Played in 10 games, but played in about a quarter of the offensive snaps during those games and almost half of the special team snaps. Only 3 catches, though, for 90 yards and a touchdown. NFL and the Referees Association has their agreement expiring in May. Negotiations not going well. Kevin Seifert actually says the league is looking for replacements already. Ugh. I don't like that.
That's all gamesmanship.
Okay, so I'm not worried about it yet.
Oh, you guys really? Oh, okay. We'll find. Oh, well, where are you going to find those refs?
Went great the last time.
Yeah,
see if it goes better this time.
How's that going to work?
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Kraken just kind of staying as is. Not a lot of games in the NHL last night, so they are still in that final wild card spot with now 15 games left to play. Tough road trip, although hopefully you could beat Nashville, a team that you really should have beaten a week or so ago, and they ended up losing that one. That was one of the worst losses of the year. So go avenge that one and beat them on the road today. WNBA has a deal in principle with their Players Association on a new CBA, which is great news. Some details, Brock. The salary cap's at $7 million. It was $1.5. I can't even get over what a gigantic difference that number is. Supermax contracts over $1.4 million, average salary in the range of $600,000, minimum salary around $300,000, higher than that. Andrea Carter?
There are no words for the gravity of what these women fought for, and it is something that the future players and current players will forever be changed. And the CBAs and the money and everything, it's really a leap in the right direction. Like, sometimes you can take steps and you see the growth, and we see all of those things, and growth to me is amazing, and this matches the growth that we've seen. So I love that the players and the executive committee are happy with it. That's all that I wanted, was the players and NECA and the WNBPA to feel like they got what they deserved, and that's what it seems like everyone feels like. So I'm just thrilled for the players. They deserve it.
Remember how long we spent trying to get Andrea Carter on?
Yeah.
Spent like 6 months trying to get her on the show. Couldn't be done.
Her and Rachel Nichols this week.
Well, we can't even get to Rachel Nichols.
No.
Brock and I have tried, and more. Between us, we have tried everything to get Rachel Nichols' number, and we can't do it.
I mean,
it is locked down.
you guys have quite the Rolodex.
Uh-huh.
We've asked a ton of people we know who normally have, hey, do you have Rachel? Nobody has Rachel Nichols' number.
Yeah, that's everything you need to know. You know, I'm kind of sad
I was going to
today.
mention one other quick thing, though.
Oh. The basketball tournament begins
Just
today?
that Harry Ford didn't make the Nationals. I thought that was interesting.
That. Yeah, I sent that.
Didn't make the team? I was on the playoff roster last year. Didn't make the Nationals?
Yeah.
Come on, Harry. All right, that's everything you need to know.
He's played 5 times in that next star game.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of sad for you today. Like, honestly, I'm a little
Why?
sad for you. I don't know. It's just one of those moments in life, kind of time capsule moments. I'm like, this used to be such a great day in your life.
Oh, yeah. It's true.
I mean, Abdul Abdinabi, Cherokee Parks, Bobby Hurley.
Sure.
Like, gosh, the Minutemen from UMass.
Dana Dingle, Dante Bright, Carmelo Travieso, Edgar Padilla, Lou Rowe, Marcus Camby, Tyrone Weeks coming off the bench, Enos Norval. Yeah. How deep you want to go there on those
shorts
UMass
hanging
Minutemen?
below the knees?
Yeah.
On some of those guys.
You want to go deep, Michael Williams? You want to go deep on those UMass Minutemen from that era?
So it used to be like a special time.
But they killed it.
And now you don't even know the tournament starts today.
Couldn't be farther from my mind. And I feel bad. You know what's so funny and so upsetting, Brock? I have this memory of being in my 20s, Lyle. Probably not that different from a current Lyle Goldstein. Driving around in Boston, listening to WEEI at the time, and being so mad that they weren't talking about the tournament. And just being like, I can't believe they're not talking about the tournament. This is the only thing in the world I care about.
This is the day Mr. Erlenmeyer was the hero at Aylen.
Yeah.
Yeah, he brought
in the
TV into the earth science
And I
class.
skipped school on this day, like both in high school and in college. Like, yeah, there was nothing in the world more important than
Mr.
me.
Pika. Oh, Mr. Pika.
God, I don't care at all. I just don't even care a little this year.
So sad.
And it's really been getting that way over the last few. So, yeah. I'll tell you who cares about everything. He just has an irrepressible personality. He cannot be held back or repressed. Chris Egan, he's back from Italy. He is photobombing grandmas and sitting in his hot tub, maybe even as we speak. It's next on Brock and Salk.
4 down territory. Michael Bumpus answers the top 4 football questions of the day.
You watched every target to Rashid Shaheed, so what did you see?
He's good off the line. I like his release. He has a couple releases that he goes to that works. And the reason why they work is because he's extremely fast. You have to respect everything that he does. I think that once he gets on a defender's hip, he is gone. The saying, if he's even, he's leaving. That is exactly him.
Catch every 4 down territory.
Plan. It's safe, and it really does work. It's very simple. And it starts at just a 15-minute phone call. That's how long you're going to spend just sitting in traffic today, right? Why not, during that time, schedule a consultation at eastsideweightlossclinic.com? Because the only thing you have to lose is the weight itself. Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. Hear that? Sounds like simple. Valvoline Instant Oil Change simple. No appointments. About 15 minutes to change your oil. Then out the door and back to life.
Yeah, honey, on my way.
Valvoline Instant Oil Change. Expert service doesn't need to be overcomplicated.
I've always wanted to learn French, but the app I tried didn't help.
If you want to memorize words in another language, there's an app for that. But if you want to really learn another language, there's Babbel. Babbel was designed by over 200 language learning experts to be the most effective way to learn another language.
With other language learning apps, I was just playing games. I wasn't really learning. Babbel's different. Every time I open the app, I can choose to work on my writing, speaking, or listening. And it saves my mistakes for me to review, so I'm constantly improving. Babbel feels like it was created intentionally by people who really know what you need to learn another language. Before Babbel, I thought I just wasn't good with languages. But now I'm speaking French. Tout ça, c'est grâce à Babbel.
Want to really learn another language? Save up to 50% on your Babbel subscription when you sign up at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com to save up to 50%. Babbel.com.
This is Chris Davis with the Davis Law Group. Did you know that a pedestrian does not have to be crossing the street on a marked crosswalk to have a successful legal claim against the driver? Pedestrians can even be partially at fault for a collision and still have a valuable claim. Call us today for a free consultation or get my free book on pedestrian accident law at WashingtonAccidentBooks.com. That's Davis Law Group, better service and even better results.
Don't miss the John Schneider Show, presented by Silver City Brewery.
I truly believe defense wins championships.
Thursdays at 4, only on Seattle Sports.
Save $10 on a pair of Rain X Latitude wiper blades at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Our professional parts people will even install them for free.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with the Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Ready to free your team from time-consuming office tasks? Amazon Business empowers leaders with smart business buying tools, leaving time to focus on strategy and growth. Free up your teams and focus on your future at AmazonBusiness.com.
It's funny how you get used to things in not-so-ideal condition around the house. It's Dave Wyman here, and for me, it was old windows. After 20 years in our home, virtually every window had a broken seal. We got used to cold drafts, outside noises, and condensation. And if you're in the same boat, use this spring to say goodbye to the old, dreary windows and hello to your new exclusive windows from Harley Exteriors. Right now, they're having a spring cleaning sale to complete your home makeover. If you buy 10 windows, you can choose between 20% off your entire project or get a free door. On top of that, make 0 payments and accumulate 0 interest for up to 12 months for qualified buyers. Harley Exteriors windows are a massive upgrade, manufactured right here in the Pacific Northwest and exclusive to Harley Exteriors. Call 833-HARLEY, that's HARLEY, or go to harleyexteriors.com. Schedule your free consultation today at harleyexteriors.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
This is Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Well, this is something I don't think we've ever done. And we've had Chris Egan on the show many times. He's been in the studio. He's been on the phone.
He was a great fill-in for you back in the day.
Did he report? Was it Chris who reported on the birth of my first daughter?
I believe so.
Was it Chris or was it Jesse Jones? Maybe it was a combination of both. I kind of forget. But regardless, he's been on the phone. We've talked to him in different countries, I believe.
Oh, yeah.
But I don't think we've ever had him on video. This is a first. What? Chris Egan, King 5 Sports, joining us, I think maybe even from a pickleball court as we speak, here on our video link. Good morning, Chris. If people are watching on YouTube, they should be able to see you right now. Hi.
Mike, Brock,
Good morning. Coming to you from the heart of Tacoma, Washington. I'm at the Drop Pickleball Club. Just got off the court. You know you're out of shape when you played only one warm-up game and you're a little out of breath. But, hey, stacking up wins here at the Drop in Tacoma. 1-0 right now. Get a half-hour break. I'll be back on the courts for a couple hours. Hoping to go 21-1 today if possible.
Is it when you go, it's pickup.
Yeah.
It's pickup, right? It's a pickup game. So
We have this is a high level, Mike, right
is.
here. This is 4.5 to 6.0 level pickleball. I mean, I'll take you out there since we're video. This is the first time we've ever done this on the book.
Do they do the thing like they do in Green Lake with the racket, where like the angle of the racket that you put down shows your experience level?
That's kind of beginner, Mike. This is high level play here. So this is only the top players from the PNW are here.
Wow.
At the Drop.
I didn't realize it was that.
I mean, this is. Yeah, so usually there's a challenge court where usually the best players will be. How about this, guys? Welcome to Tacoma, Washington, T-Town, the 253. I mean, isn't that gorgeous?
It actually is gorgeous. Yeah, it's actually really nice. What used to be
it's
in
beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Absolutely. I don't know what used to be
there? Was
here,
it like a
but
Fred Meyer, and now it's
now
it's pickleball courts?
I think it was a Kenny Rogers Roasters, Mike, at one point. Yeah, I think it was. I'm going outside. Hopefully they let me back in.
I don't know.
There we
50-50. Do they know who you are when you walk in there? Are they like, oh my God, that's Chris Egan from King 5 Sports?
Mike, not from King 5. They know me for my pickleball, being a 5.2 player. That's how they know me here.
Like a handicap?
So I think I have. Yes, I
like it.
It's a serious deal.
I know he is. He was a
big time pickleball player.
He was a great tennis player, and now
yes,
he's turned
was.
into.
He was
I know
All-State.
that.
He played at PLU.
I know.
I mean, don't try to put him in a Rudy Rudiger. This dude's a dude right here. And by the way, Egan, I think I've watched your hot tub scene 15 times.
Yeah.
Can you walk me through? You get home from the Mariners food tasting. And we got some questions about that, and the Mariners, and the Olympics, and the Sonics, and the Seahawks. We're gonna talk sports here eventually. Can you walk me through the genesis and the thought of let me get in my hot tub in my King 5 jacket and float my ferry boat with food? Can you kind of walk me through the origins of that?
Brock, the Mariners and what they've meant to me. Kevin Martinez and his group over there, they are marketing geniuses. And I left there and I said, okay, there's all these influencers and they're all going to talk about their favorite food, like Mike Salk. I've never seen anybody eat so many sumo dogs in a span of 10 minutes than Mike Salk. So everybody's going to pick their favorite food. Yeah. So everybody's going to do that. And I said, what's the big conversation? It's the ferry boat. And give credit to Kevin Martinez and his crew. Who in the world comes up with this during the offseason? Like, what haven't we done? We've done chocolate-covered grasshoppers. We've thrown hot dogs from airplanes. So let's go ahead and put French fries and chicken tenders in a ferry boat. So that was the big conversation. So I'm like, what am I going to do? Well, let's see if this thing floats. So I knew if I went shirtless, that would have broke the internet for all the wrong reasons.
Sure.
I don't need the trollers out there taking shots at me. So I'm like, you know what? Let's get in the hot tub. Let's have some fun. And honestly, that was 2 takes. And Mike, this is, when you hit it out of the park. My 15-year-old Luke was the one that shot the video. And Luke looked at me and goes, it's pretty good. It's pretty good. And so if you get a pretty good from a 15-year-old, it's really good.
It's
you've
really
done
something
great. Yeah.
I get
so
that.
you've done something well. And the Mariners just continue to hit home runs with their marketing team. It's absolutely amazing.
What was the best thing you ate out there?
I think, Mike, I don't know why it's taken so long to put crab on nachos.
Right.
Like who comes up with it? I don't care. It was absolutely Brock. You are somebody that appreciates getting out in the water and crabbing and pulling up crabs. I'm telling you what, Brock, why have we not thought about this before? I mean, you go back to some of those Heward brother, seafood events.
Sure.
Nobody in the history has ever just thrown crab on nachos. And I don't know about you, Mike, but that was just
I thought that
to
was
me
great.
Was very good.
Kind of a deconstructed crab rangoon.
Yeah. Now I'm a little worried on a nice 85-degree night out at T-Mobile Park if your neighbor has the crab rangoon and leaves it under the seat. I mean, it could get a little dicey out there at T-Mobile on a summer night.
You want to make sure it gets finished.
Exactly.
Where did the Olympics in Italy rank of all the Olympics you've covered, Mr. Egan?
Number one. I know it's fresh. And you're talking. I was in Rio with the Fab Five. The gymnastics team. I watched Michael Phelps in Rio. I was in South Korea and watched the U.S. women win gold there. I watched the curling team win gold there. But honestly, I have grown to become a hockey fan over the last 10 years, slowly. Yep. And Mike and Brock, to watch those two games up close, up personal, to be at the practices, to see what hockey means to the rest of the world. I mean, I think it was day 2 at the Olympics, and I was sent to 4 practices to go get U.S. players, get Canadian players. There was some NHL players playing for Sweden and Finland. And there was 30 members of the media there from Sweden for their practice. And you realize how big this is in other countries. It's, we saw this with the World Baseball Classic, how big this is to Venezuela. For Finland, hockey is their baseball. Hockey is their football. And then to be at those 2 games, and the women's game was absolutely amazing because I was prepping as a journalist. There was only really 2 NBC reporters in the mix zone that did sports. The other ones were news. And Bruce Beck from New York turns to me and goes, Egan, if the U.S. women lose, we need you to do your job. We need you to, you can't be asking about food questions. We got, it was looking like they were going to lose. And we had to be prepared to get sound with them. And then all of a sudden it just turns. And there's a moment, Mike and Brock, where I'm sitting there at this arena and I'm surrounded by NBC News reporters for that women's game from Boston, from Chicago, from Dallas, from Houston, from Miami. And you realize this is just bigger. It's all these reporters are here for one team, Team USA. And then you've got the entire Canadian media group over there as well. And to watch that overtime win and then to go to the men's game on Sunday was, it's going to be hard to ever
didn't you tweet?
That.
I think you tweeted that this was the greatest sports venue. And Chris, you've been to Super Bowls. You have been, right? You've been to Rose Bowls. You've been to national title games. You've been to, you in your lifetime have experienced so many different mountaintops, and yet that was, in your mind, the greatest sports kind of venue and feeling you've ever experienced.
For me to cover. And I've been to Super Bowls. I was there for the Seahawks' first Super Bowl championship and Mariners playoff games. But for me to cover, I was not there in 1980 to watch the Miracle on Ice. And I know people have tried to compare these two, and I wasn't there. So I can't sit there and tell you that. I did start playing pickleball in 1980, but
he was trying to jump in front of grandma's.
Pickleball was not around in 1980. That is a lie, Egan. That is a misstep.
That is not a lie, Brock. That is not a misstep. Do your fact searching. Maybe in downtown Puyallup it wasn't going on, but on the North Hill, the FME, Fife Mill and Edgewood, they were playing it. But the night before Saturday, just to kind of really quickly paint the picture, NBC was only allowing so many journalists into this venue, and so I got picked to go, which was a thrill. And then I literally sat there on my feet for the entire warm-ups, the entire game. And it's 70%, the crowd was 70 to 75% Canadians. But the 25% U.S. fans there, I mean, they were so loud. And just to be part of that, those USA chants. And then when Canada ties it up, you're just like, there's no way the U.S. wins this. I mean, the Canadian firepower, and Mike can sit there and tell you about this. It's Hall of Famer after Hall of Famer after Hall of Famer. There's no way the U.S. wins this. I mean, it's just matching up. There's just no way. And then they go to OT and you're like 3-on-3 and they're like, U.S. does not match up with Canada. I mean, they're just better. And so somehow for them to get the win and then to be there with these guys after that gold medal, to be there with their families, it's really hard to put into words. But I'll just say this, it's going to be tough to top that moment for sure.
What was, how long were you there? Almost 2 weeks? 2 weeks?
27 days, Mike.
Almost
27 days.
Right.
There's a reason, Mike. There's a reason they have bidets in Europe, because when you eat pasta for 27 days, there's no protein.
I got a bidet in my house. I don't know how anybody lives without a bidet. Once I bought one, I will never live without one. Yeah.
Yeah, why? It's like the never-ending story. It really is.
Goes on and on and on. You want me to sing again if you need me to?
Sure.
Chris.
I love it. And Mike, you brought me back to 1984. I mean, and you're right. That was not a dragon. That was a dog.
It looks
that
like
was
the
start
Cavalier
of,
King Charles.
And a lot of people don't think about this movie and the drugs used to make it, but think about that dog. Back in 1984, there was only like 4 types of dogs. There was really just a lab, and then there's maybe like a pinscher. Ever since that movie, Mike, crossbreeding started. I mean, that's a cross between a Shih Tzu and a Lhasa Apso. And we didn't have that in 84. Track it. Since that movie, crossbreeding with dogs started. I'm just saying.
What was that's the most ridiculous thing that's been said on this air, and that's saying something.
It's true. Do the fact searching.
We'll do the facts. Yes, we'll do the fact searching. What was 27 days like in Italy, walking around everywhere with Jake Wittenberg?
I'm going to give so much credit to Jake. Well, first off, he's absolutely phenomenal when it comes to like just posting videos and being there and enjoying the moment. But I'm actually going to give write down what I'm going to do today. Here's what I need to get done. I feel like I get a lot done because it's all organized. And it was Jake one day that says, put your list away.
There we go.
Put your list away.
Yep.
And let's get on a train and let's go to Venice. And this is very unlike myself because it's like, that's not really on my list. And I'm like, I don't, I need to go to the Finland second practice. And he's like, no, we've been doing good. Come with me. Let's go to Venice.
Yep.
And I need to honestly, guys, do more of this because I said the hockey game was the greatest event I've ever seen live. At this point, Venice was the most amazing city I've ever seen in my life. Wow. It really was. It was an incredible day. I give a lot of credit to Jake kind of for pulling me off that list task person that I am and let me enjoy.
And for you to say that, Chris,
the poodle dog would like to have a word. The poodle dog and Fife would like to have a word.
I know. I've been to some great cities. I'm not lying. Buckley, Roy, Vader. They're all up there. Monroe on a nice night when you can see the women's penitentiary. I've seen some great cities, but Venice to me, and I'm telling you,
Venice was better. Interesting. Wow.
Venice was better. I'm telling you what, put it on your bucket list. If you haven't taken the wives to Italy, I would do 2 days in Milan. I would go to Venice for a couple days.
Yeah.
I would do Florence, Rome, maybe head out to the coast as well, and just sit back. Enjoy the people, enjoy the food, enjoy the history.
Brock's going. Brock and Molly are going.
Yeah.
No.
27th anniversary. Yep.
Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? Why would you? You know what? What is it? You're going to go down to the Great Wolf Lodge, or is it going to be Italy? So congratulations. Nothing wrong with the Great Wolf Lodge.
Yeah.
I love
Central
going
Italy,
there.
Central Italy, or Centralia. It's a tough choice.
I think
peel
Salk
back the
just
onion.
came up with a slogan: Centralia or Central Italy. I apologize.
So last night we're texting. We're trying to get Rachel Nichols on the show. We're trying to get Diana Rousseau.
Never going to happen.
We're trying to get some different folks. And finally, like nothing, just dead. I said, you know what? We haven't chatted with Egan. What do you think about Egan? Salk said, he just makes me laugh.
Yeah. Did you get down to spring training at all?
No, and I'm going to be honest with you guys. My wife said, do not go to Italy and complain about anything.
Right.
And because you're in Italy, you're enjoying food. But watching the Super Bowl at a football bar at 2 a.m., with a lot of football fans, that was tough. That was hard. Nobody was enjoying really the game, but it is what it is. And then missed out on spring training because I was still in Italy.
Well, so I was wondering,
and
27
that's
days
one of my favorite. Yeah,
I thought you could have gone for just like a week, but brought 27 different polos, and you could have had reports for days from Italy, and you and Jay could have gallivanted all over Europe together during that time.
We should have, Mike. And it's funny, I did pack about 10 polos and I wore one of them one day, and the producer, because I was doing national shows for NBC, he said, yeah, let's just stick with the NBC gear, if you don't mind.
Oh.
So I got shut down. Oh.
How do we think our Mariners are going to be, Mr. Egan? Are we prepared for a run to the World Series?
Well, I mean, I think if anybody that has listened to the Salk and Brock show, like I have, all you need to do is go back to a year ago when I was on this show from spring training.
Yep.
And I forecasted that they would get in the playoffs. I thought they would go to a game 7
you also did that the year
Jays.
before and the year before and the year before.
Those shows have been.
I think we actually just had a different clip of you with a different polo with the same prediction.
Sure, Mike. We could go down that never-ending story as well. But truth be told, we still have the pitchers. The bullpen is better, Mike. And I think we'll be back.
So you're going to have to ask another question because I got to look this up. I am really fascinated when crossbreeding began with dogs. I think Chris is right.
Think of Brock. Think
yes.
In 1984. Did anybody have a snickerdoodle? No, that dog didn't even exist.
What was the thing that you said you had said on our
I don't think bugs existed in 1984. I'm going to be honest with you. I really don't. And this dog is like a long bug flying. You think they did?
Yes.
I don't know if they did.
Of course
I don't
did.
remember.
Not in Puyallup,
I don't remember
maybe.
I don't remember a lot of pugs in '84 around the Egan neighborhood.
The internet wasn't around for people to learn about what else was out there.
There was like 3 dogs in our neighborhood: German Shepherd, a Lab, and then somebody had a Doberman Pinscher. That was it.
And that was it. Yeah. It's impossible there were any other dogs. It was just the 3 that were in your neighborhood.
Yeah, I just got a couple texts that says, have you been doing drugs this morning, Chris? No, I'm playing pickleball.
Well, it's more of a natural high. I would say.
Thank you, Mike. Thank you.
All right. Well, I'm out of I'm out, bro. I am disappointed in you, though, Egan. I really
crossbreeding and selective breeding of dogs began significantly earlier, with evidence of Arctic sled dogs being intentionally bred at least 9,500 years ago.
Yeah, it's been a little bit.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
I
think that Rock Eater was a part of it. Yeah. I think the Rock Eater was part of it. You know, we asked Chris Brock what his favorite food was at the Mariners thing the other day, and I was shocked. And the sumo dog was great. It was number 2 on my list.
It was good. Yeah.
And
what's on that, Mike, by the way?
We went through it yesterday.
So many
Nori,
okay, never mind.
Some other stuff. But I was surprised because we actually have the video of you trying the ribs.
Can I get a rib? All right. Paul, we got ribs. We got hot dogs.
Oh, boy.
Oh, my. And we'll have highlights for you.
I think that was in Centralia, too.
Are you now afraid to try ribs at the Mariner
I don't
event?
eat ribs ever since that moment. No, not only do I not, because I don't know how hot the ribs are going to be. Also, you should know this, Mike. They're going to get all over your hands. It ruins the rest of the day. People are going to want to do handshakes with you. And then I think, Mike, my best moment you missed at the Mariners media frenzy was when I fed Grandma Carolyn a crab nacho. And no joke, you two. Grandma Carolyn has 1.7 million followers on TikTok, and I am trending. I'm getting lit up. My DM is being lit up with a bunch of grandmas right now that says, "Please feed me some crab."
And how many of them are at the pickleball court with you this morning?
Mike, once again, let's go back to the beginning. This is top level pickleball here. All right. Come on, there's no grandmas here.
Chris, off the top of your head, what year did that happen? How long ago? What year was it?
And where was that? Was that Centralia?
Okay, no, Brock. That was in Monroe, home of the Bearcats, who used to have they had a phenomenal tailgate. They had a phenomenal tailgate party for their high school teams. And I want to say,
what year?
Oh, 12 years ago, I want to go with. Doing the math.
No, not even. It was only 8 years ago.
No?
That is January 2018 that famous moment occurred on King 5. Chris, thank you. What a morning this has been. Thank you for this.
Yeah. Hey, come on down. Get on down here. Get off set. I'll hold a court for you two. We'll get you out here.
Can you do some dinks before we go? Is there going to be some dinking this morning?
Soft play, Mike. Yeah, soft play in the kitchen.
Soft play in the kitchen. Soft play in the kitchen. All right, there you go.
If they hang it, Mike, you know what I say, Mike, though? They hang it, I'm banging it, buddy.
Chris Egan, King 5 Sports, and truly the most unique influencer in all of Seattle. Thank you, Chris. That's great stuff, as always, from the irrepressible Chris Egan. Wow, my head hurts now. I'm not gonna lie, my head literally hurts. So that was quite a 20 minutes. Is there another
guest that calls us by first name?
No,
as much as Chris Egan.
Absolutely not.
I think it's one of my favorite things.
Yeah,
and I had no idea. Were you familiar with the FME?
No.
I mean, what's happened to me? Is that a thing? Is the FME a thing?
I don't know.
The Fife, Milton, Edgewood? Is that really?
I don't think I realized that. Egan sounds like Kimmel, says the 253. I hear that. There is a little bit of Kimmel in there. Yeah, I didn't. You know what? I think you're right. All right, let's go from that to something way too. You want to go from that to something very serious, Brock? Like super serious? Brock is serious. He's got names, and it's next on Brock and Salk.
Having one of those days where a little of this would make things so much better?
Fastball, strike three called. He got him looking. How about that for a Cactus League debut? Cade Anderson striking out the side.
We got you. You can stream every Mariners spring training game live for free on the Seattle Sports app. Making lives better through Mariners baseball, one
goodbye baseball
at a time. Home of your American League West champion Mariners.
High five. Up top.
Dave's company just got the 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business.
Yeah!
It's 5 years of gig speed internet, advanced security, and a great rate that won't change. All from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Heck yeah!
He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread.
Yes!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee. Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities.
And it's hurting, but I am not stopping. Woo!
For a limited time, now through March 29th, switch to Comcast Business to lock in your rate for 5 years and get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Or ask how to get started with 150 megabit internet and Security Edge for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Don't wait. Call today. Restrictions apply. New customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. Paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account required. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
Hour-and-a-half drive here. To have fun here for 8 to 9 hours a day versus if it's the other way around, then I'll take it.
Lee Johnson Auto Family, the LJ way.
Hi, I'm Kamiko, the founder of Miko's Hot Chicken. When we started our family restaurant, we were also raising a family. But let me tell you, it wasn't easy. Our Chase Ink card was there to reward us on all of our business needs. Now we have a thriving location, and we're hungry for more.
With the Chase Ink Business Unlimited card, you can earn unlimited 1.5% cash back on every purchase, so your business can go from here to possible. Chase for business. Make more with yours. Real business owners compensated for their participation. Cards issued by JPMorgan Chase Bank and a member FDIC. Subject to credit approval. Terms apply.
There's nothing better than having a big fish on your line. Make this the year you take that unforgettable fishing trip to Queen Charlotte Lodge. Time is running out for summer bookings. Experience a luxury resort and amazing fishing with your buddies, family, father, or son. King salmon runs, halibut, and lingcod are always plentiful. Book your stay at fishqcl.com and use code ESPN. Experience fishing first class. Experience fishqcl.com.
Running a business means wearing multiple hats. So if you're like me, you probably started out using your personal phone, taking client calls and texts nonstop. As my business grew, I needed something smarter. That's when I switched to Quo, the #1 business phone system. Quo works right on your phone or computer. No carrying 2 phones, no clunky landline, just one easy app you can try for free. Your team can share one number and handle calls and texts together like a shared inbox. Any teammate can jump into the conversation, so customers get faster responses. And Quo's AI assistant summarizes your calls and responds to customers 24/7, so you never miss a lead or opportunity. All this starts at just $15 a month. That's basically 2 coffees. You can even keep your current business phone number. Find out why 90,000 businesses trust Quo. No missed calls, no missed customers. Try Quo for free at quo.com/sports. That's quo.com/sports to try Quo free. QUO.com/SPORTS.
Guys, did you know your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED? And right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. They've helped thousands of men since 2011 feel and perform better. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Schedule your free testosterone test, exam, and consultation today. Call 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
The countdown is on.
Just 7 days until opening day next Thursday against the Guardians at T-Mobile Park.
On the home of the American League West champion Mariners, Seattle Sports. KIRO AM Seattle.
This hour is brought to you by Davis Law Group.
Give me a freaking auto!
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Brock and Salk on Seattle Sports.
Brock Heward and Matt Marcus. Sorry about just Mike.
Heward, not exactly Joe Cap there in the pocket.
Now here are your hosts, Brock Heward and Mike Salk.
I love that guy.
How long has Chris Egan been making you laugh? You guys have known each other most of your life, right?
Yeah, late 80s. And you would have loved Chris Egan, the basketball player song. Again, going back to your old days in the 80s and the UMass guys and the UNLV team, and he was just such a glue. Can you imagine that? Just the glue
just
guy.
Just a glue guy.
Oh, just a glue guy. Rebound, do whatever it took. I will say, there's nothing laughing about Ed Egan calling the Heward home, though. When Damon and the boys decided to wear black shoes and also got flat tops, crew cuts. And Egan had, great hair back in the day. And Ed Egan not happy, giving my dad, I think, the business. And
really?
My mom and Damon.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Papa Ed not happy.
Did it eventually work out, or do they still?
It eventually worked itself out.
Is there still
no beef? No Egan Heward beef.
Okay, good. That would be hard to hear.
Gosh, I love that guy.
Yesterday, we spent some time with Field Yates, who joined us, and man, he went deep. That was a deep dive into some of the positions and people that could be available for the Seahawks in the draft.
Yeah.
Can you help kind of sort it out a little bit so that I could focus on a few of those names?
Yeah, and there are some names that are becoming a little more that you're hearing from Field, that we'll hear from DJ, that you heard from Hawk Blogger, that if you kind of follow these things and some of the breadcrumbs, these are some of the names. Now, it doesn't mean that's who the Seahawks are going to draft, and who knows where they draft. They don't like this draft at all. They could trade out of the first, they could trade out of the second, and they could have 4 picks in the third round, right? Would that surprise me at all? No.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of these names will come off the board. But I think of interest because they've not really, other than the running back from Green Bay, they've not really filled a pretty significant void with K9. And while not a running back class like last year, where it was one of the greatest in the history of the NFL, there are a couple names, and here was Field talking about some running backs, and one name in particular that is very familiar in this market.
35 to 75 range. Let's start with running backs because I think it's the narrowest number of players that could fit into that range. I think it's Jadari and Price. That would be the only player that I personally have a top 75 grade on, not named Jeremiah Love. Other names that I think are going to come off the board after that would be the likes of a Nick Singleton from Penn State, Jonah Coleman from Washington, might be more day 3. Mike Washington Jr. from Arkansas seems to be the trendy running back who had a great combine, 200 and some pounds, ran a 4.3, 340. I didn't think the tape was round 2 or early round 3 good, but a strong combine can definitely change people's perceptions. But
yeah, and I'd be pretty scared of that guy. That is a combine warrior. You just never really saw that in 5 years of college where that 4.33 came to life like it did for Ken Walker for me and even Zach Charbonnet, who was not nearly that fast, but much more dynamic in college. So that guy kind of scares me. So you go back to the first 3 names he mentioned. And I'll just set it up this way because very few listeners know the name Jadarian Price and what that means. Would you take him like you took Charbonnet and K9 in the second round? He is that kind of ilk. He split carries at Notre Dame. Jeremiah Love, I have heard some evaluators say, is the best player in this draft, which is scary for this draft, that the single best player is a running back that split carries at Notre Dame, but he's one that has just a freakish ceiling because he's freakishly fast. Jadarian Price, I think that's Lyle's guy, right, Lyle? If I remember right, my memory serves me. Yep. And he played a complimentary role. Very, very physical, very smooth, very dynamic.
Why do you like him, Lyle?
I guess I just always like the way he ran the ball.
Yeah.
And he doesn't have as much wear and tear on his legs as some other guys will because he did split carries in college.
Yep. So with all the needs of this Seahawks team, and there's not many of them, but there's a few areas that you would certainly like to replenish. Would you be excited if they trade out of the first round and they take a running back in that same kind of 40s that they took a Charbonnet and a Ken Walker?
I don't know if the word is excited, but I think that I would be. Yeah, I think it would certainly be a valuable thing for them to do. I certainly wouldn't mind.
Yep. Or do you wait and take somebody that maybe is a step slower, that maybe has an injury history, that maybe, and Jonah doesn't have an injury history, but he is a step slower. Why he didn't even run a 40 ever at the combine or even his pro day. He is, the other kid he mentioned, Singleton, is kind of in that Jonah vein, very physical guy, also split carries there at Penn State. Is a running back something that would kind of whet your appetite there?
So I'm going to say something, Brock, that's going to shock you.
Okay.
This is going to shock you. I don't think I've ever said this before.
Oh, boy. Here we go.
Because if you know me and you know how much I love running backs.
Love big running backs.
You know there's one thing I love more than anything else, and that is a big, physical, punishing running back.
From Natrone Means to Marshawn Lynch. From Buckley to Bothell.
From Craig Ironhead Haywood to Brandon Jacobs. This is like my favorite thing on a football field.
Yes.
Is a big old nasty running back who just lives to hit you in the
Chuck
mouth
Muncie
and run through you.
Icky Woods.
From Barry Word to Christian Okoye. This is like a defining characteristic.
Yep. From Kelso to Kenmore.
That's not what I'm looking for right now for the Seahawks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What happened?
I don't think that's what they need.
Is this what's happening with age with you?
No,
Basketball tournament, out the door. Big running backs, out the door.
Not out the door forever. Just kind of looking at what they have and what they need. And I think they've got some guys who can be physical, who can step up and kind of do some of that. I think they are at a point without Ken Walker right now, and especially with the fact that, you're not going to have Charbonnet for much of this year. I know he's not really a breakaway guy either, but I think they need some breakaway speed.
Yeah.
So if I'm looking for a running back now in the draft, I'm not going to say this all the time, but for this year, Brock, I think the Seahawks breakaway speed has to be
I think you're right. I think that
pretty
makes sense.
Big factor
because Eugene Wilson and George Halani and these guys, they're hammers, right? They're anvils. They're going.
Who's the guy they got from?
Yeah, Wilson.
Emmanuel Wilson, is that his name?
Emmanuel.
Yeah. So that, they got that. I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
I think they're good in that department. I think you need somebody who's going to occasionally. That's why 8-Chain is an interesting name to me because I want to see them, get some of those breakaway moments that Ken Walker gave them.
Yeah. The other thing in the other position that he rattled a bunch of names, and we don't have to play all these names because we'll do a little more of this as we get closer to the draft and certainly as we get to April. But the other position, and this has been verified in chatting with some folks, there's going to be a starting corner in the second or third round. That's going to be a place where you can find somebody to just kind of replenish the Reek Woolen loss and bring somebody in. And there are just a whole cast of characters there. There's some really feisty suckers. He mentioned the name Pons. I like that. I've always liked that when I've previewed corners through the year, Salk. And you like that when I'm like, this dude is pound for pound going to absolutely scratch your eyeballs out.
I want a corner that's going to hit.
Yes. And you do have a bunch of those in this draft. And then, you mentioned the name Cisse, I believe is how you say it, the South Carolina kid. I played sound to him from the combine. He came out to the NFC Championship game because he's friends with Nicky Manwari, and they have that background in South Carolina. And just listen to him talk. Like, he just sounds like a Seahawk. Right, this guy just loves ball, and I don't want to miss watching this game in that venue. And more importantly, I want to be a part of it one day. So I think corners, as we get through this, we're going to rattle more and more names and get to know these guys and profile them. But there are a bunch of any of the position in this draft. I would say corners are the ones that kind of excited to see what John and his scouting department lands on, and what really Mike McDonald directs him. Because I think he really knows exactly the kind of guy that he wants, and they're going to pinpoint that and be able, I think, to find that kind of difference maker.
Mora had sent over this tweet from, was it DJ? Yeah, it was. Let me read this to you. I'm a little curious what your reaction to this would be. Daniel Jeremiah, our friend yesterday, wrote, "What's the ultimate all-in opportunity?
Ooh, yes,
Rams trade up for Love and trade next year's number 1 for A.J. Brown."
Yeah, that would be all in.
What would be your reaction if they did?
That'd be pretty scary.
That would be
right? That would be pretty scary. Really good running back, 1,000-yard running back,
especially after they've fixed their cornerback and secondary situation.
Yeah. And Love is honestly regarded by many as the single best player in this draft.
Yeah.
And when you want to talk about a blue chip and a home run hitter and a 4.3 guy, and I'm not going to say Saquon Barkley. He's not as physical as Saquon, but his freakish athleticism and home run hitting ability is. You give that to Matt Stafford with those tight ends and with that line.
It might
and
not
with the
work long
room.
term, but short term, that sounds pretty scary.
Yeah,
not gonna lie. That sounds like, what you better do is go get Max Crosby. That's just me. That might actually up the ante in something like that. Okay, we'll give you everything you need to know next. Trash takes today, a late version because we couldn't do it yesterday. We'll do that at 9:45. And I actually might have a trash take worse than any of yours at 9:30 that I'm going to play you, Brock. This sound is absurd. It's coming up on Brock and Salk.
4 down territory. Michael Bumpus answers the top 4 football questions of the day.
You watched every target to Rashid Shaheed, so what did you see?
He's good off the line. I like his release. He has a couple releases that he goes to that works. And the reason why they work is because he's extremely fast. You have to respect everything that he does. I think that once he gets on a defender's hip, he is gone. The saying, if he's even, he's leaving. That is exactly him.
Catch every 4 down territory on the Seattle Sports app.
Well, springtime is all about getting ready for summer, right? We see it with our baseball team, and man, we can't wait to get this thing started in a week. And if you want to get your own home gym started, then you've got to reach out to my friends at Top Fitness. Maybe you got a space that's empty and you've dreamt of making it a home gym. Well, make that dream a reality. Go to Top Fitness and go check out their stuff. It's the best of the best. In fact, give them your room dimensions, and they'll do a complete fitness room design and home gym for you. And it's no secret why everybody from personal trainers to pro athletes love their stuff. Top Fitness represents the very best brands in fitness, like Woodinville's own Precor, Inspire Fitness, along with many others. And they got everything from the flooring to the weights to the dumbbells that go in your home gym. I can't wait to watch a little hoops today and get on my Precor step mill. In fact, in my own home gym, they'll do the same for you. And right now, some special financing as well. 0% interest for 12 months. Plus, mention me, and you'll receive a $150 credit towards any purchase over $1,000. So what are you waiting for? Spring is here. And get into Top Fitness with locations in Tukwila, Linwood, and Bellevue, or visit topfitness.com for more info. That's Top Fitness, your best place for home fitness equipment.
The March sales event is on at Toyota of Renton. Finance the 2026 BZ for 0% APR for 72 months, plus $6,000 TFS subvention cash. Lease the 2026 4Runner for $379 a month for 36 months, with $39.99 due at signing. Visit them today or online at toyotaofrenton.com. Offers valid through March 31st, 2026 on approved credit through TFS. Excludes taxes, titles, licenses, dealer accessories, and a $200 negotiable documentation fee. Model 2872.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, Trying to find a needle in a haystack? Sure, you can post your job to some job board, but then all you can do is hope the right person comes along, which is why you should try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter doesn't depend on candidates finding you. It finds them for you. Its powerful technology identifies people with the right experience and actively invites them to apply to your job. You get qualified candidates fast. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you what you're looking for. The needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
ZipRecruiter. Mariners fans, the 2026 season is officially on deck. And Cal, Julio, and the defending AL West champs are ready to feed off your energy at T-Mobile Park. Be here for every monster home run.
There it is, number 60. The magical tour of Cal Raleigh just continues.
Every 100-mile-per-hour heater.
And he throws it and the ball game's over. Andres Munoz has simply been incredible.
Every clutch moment.
A bases clearing 3-run double by Josh Naylor. Holy smokes, the Mariners have the lead.
It's going to be an epic 50th season, and you won't want to miss it. Mariners baseball. Trident's up.
Lock in your spot for the season with a Mariners Reserved membership. Get the best seats at the best prices for 20 games or the whole slate. Plus, enjoy perks like guaranteed postseason access, year-round savings, no ticket fees, and more. Memberships start under $500. Find your plan at mariners.com/26.
Don't miss 3 Tree Roofing Mariners Cactus League Baseball.
This could be 2. JP has it, goes to the bag, steps on second, fires to first, double play.
Broadcast times at seattlesports.com.
Dave Wyman here with Dr. Robert Meyer from Swedish Hospital. Dr. Meyer, tell us about the amazing results prostate cancer patients are getting with Swedish CyberKnife.
Well, at the Swedish CyberKnife, our patients are really satisfied with the experience. The treatment is very effective at eradicating the cancer, has minimal side effects, and we are seeing excellent cancer control 10 years later.
Find out more at swedish.org/cyberknife prostate. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish CyberKnife.
Imagine all that can happen in 5 years. Jobs may change, kids will grow, new memes are going to come out, but what if you had reliable, intelligent Wi-Fi and the price never changed for 5 years? Well, thanks to the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee, you don't have to worry about that part of your future. You're guaranteed 5 years of Wi-Fi that boosts speeds to your devices that need them the most. That finds and fixes any issues before you even notice them. It's like a super intelligent Wi-Fi that keeps you protected from online threats. You get incredible gaming speeds on multiple devices and no one battling for bandwidth. For the next 5 years, all your devices will be working in perfect harmony, and you get our best equipment with no annual contracts, no fees, and no strings attached. So even though kids will grow up and you still won't understand 6-7, your internet's going to stay sharp, reliable, and most importantly, the price will stay put. Plus, get online in minutes with same-day Wi-Fi, all with the Xfinity 5-year price guarantee. Lock in your price and unlock the possibilities. Xfinity, imagine that. Restrictions do apply. Select plans only.
New siding doesn't have to break the bank. We offer affordable options that add value and protection to your home. This is Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. And while we're at it, ask about our roofing, windows, decking, and gutter services for even more savings. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to schedule your free siding inspection. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
State Roofing, the last roof you'll ever need.
Need to know.
15 minutes past every hour with Brock and Salk.
Presented by Marquee Data. Here's what you need to know. Up first.
Yeah, we've been talking this morning about Luke Raley, who had a heck of a day yesterday. He has hit the cover off the ball at times, Brock, and certainly over the last week, that's been the case. I love it. I think he's an X factor for them this season. Wasn't the only one with a home run yesterday. Brendan Donovan ambushing the first pitch of the game for a homer as well. And don't forget this guy.
Randy Arozarena swinging a high fly ball deep into center field. Perkins going back to the 1-inch track, looking up, and this one is going to be off the wall, the batter's eye, and it is gone. Goodbye, baseball. Straight away center field. Randy Arozarena with a 2-run home run.
He has that kind of pop, has that kind of capability, And he showed it yesterday.
Kind of nice to see the offense get going, as we've talked about. I thought it was kind of easier to hit in spring, right? It should be. The ball carries. It's warm.
Pitchers aren't
nice.
ready.
Pitchers aren't ready.
It was nice to see those 7 runs yesterday.
It's kind of nice to not have to look at averages under 100.
Yep.
For multiple
Agreed.
guys. So, yes.
Emerson Hancock threw yesterday. He's trying to secure a start or two while Bryce Miller is building himself up. He's been messing around with a sweeper.
He is using it a little bit differently. You know, I think that sweeper really does give him a different look with the right-handers and the left-handers. And, you know, the slider, too, has been very, very good. He's able to use the changeup as well against the lefties. So he's mixing and matching. And I think, you know, Johnny Paredes today doing a nice job with him, mixing it up. And then he's got that heater up at the top of the zone that'll really surprise you. And you know, I think I saw it hit 97 at one point today. So, you know, he's going to try to get you swing and miss at the soft stuff down below, and then he can really rush you up at the top of the zone.
So, yeah, I like that he's changing things up. It has not been effective enough. Why not make some changes and see if they work?
Can I ask you a question? I don't want to kill the bet.
Okay.
Brock just killed the bit. Most intriguing, where Randy was number 6 today. Was Emerson an honorable mention? Is Emerson
Hancock? No.
Yeah.
He was not.
He's not on your list?
No.
Interesting.
That's not to say he couldn't play a role, and there's some question marks, but I think the hope is that he makes fewer than 5 starts, so. Right? I mean, like, if I don't want to see Emerson Hancock have to make more than 5 starts this year, so I'm hoping he's not on the list.
It feels like he's at an age and a stage now where it's like, all right, let's go.
I got to say, I think he was at that age and stage last year.
Yeah.
Like, I think last year was the year he was at that age and stage. Yeah. He's now kind of past
and by the way,
that age
you want
and
to talk
stage.
About another great dude? Holy smokes. I think Lyle will attest to this, too. About as nice a human being as you're going to ever find.
Oh, awesome. Right?
Yeah.
Great dude.
I mean, you guys have said Logan's number 1.
He's on the list,
as great
too.
as Logan is, I don't know if I could put him over Emerson.
That's a good point. That's fair. Yep. I can buy that. He's going to be on that list. And you know what? I sit there and say that, Brock. He's almost 27. He'll be 27 here in a couple months. It's not impossible he could still figure it out, but I felt like last year at age 26 was kind of like, all right, time to kind of see what this is and, you know, the negative point.
And Logan Evans, frankly, took more of that opportunity.
A whip at almost 1.4. Just he wasn't really able to get it done, so that's why he wasn't on my list.
Here's the second thing you need to know.
A couple other notes from baseball perspective. Harry Ford did not make the Nationals. Remember, Mariners dealing him in the offseason for Jose Ferrer, the reliever, the big lefty reliever who will be with the M's. There was some consternation at the time that they did not get enough back to maximize Harry Ford. I did not agree with that. I think that his value had slipped considerably, and this might be a pretty good indication of that. He didn't make the Nationals.
Yeah. Yeah, that's tough. Is he going to be one of these that we just look at, unfortunately, is just kind of a tweener?
Yep.
You wanted to make a catcher because he's so dynamic and he's so athletic, and oh my gosh. You know, he has that kind of just pure ability, but just never really a catcher.
He's still only 23, so it's not like this game has passed him by. If he were to make the team later this year and be up in his age 24 season for good, that would not be like the end of the world for a catcher. That's totally legitimate. But it does kind of feel, again, like it's just been a long time, a drawn-out process, and kind of, you know, waiting for him to figure it out. 206 pointing out, with Hancock not on the list, he's obviously going to win the Cy Young Award this year.
Right. Yeah,
hey, from your mouth to God's ears, I hope it happens. J.P. Crawford, Brock, still dealing with this shoulder. Now, he got a cortisone shot when he went to go see Dr. Meister. He's going to have to rest that now for a couple of days, and then he'll get out there. He could be ready for opening day, but he only has 18 plate appearances this spring, and there's only a week left. If he misses, let's say, 2 more days,
you got 5 games left.
Like 3 or 4 games. Is that enough for him to be in game shape?
Does he get in the backfield? Does he play in some of the other? Do you kind of find other ways to get him?
Can you start him on the roster but not play him in the first game or 2?
Does that open the door for Colt Emerson?
Can you retroactive? How can you retroactive a IL stint to start the year? Or does he have to miss the first 10 games of the season? I don't know how that works. I'll see if I can find that out. Regardless, it is something that we will continue to watch. As for the NFL, they are negotiating now with their referees once again. The last time it led to the Fail Mary. What will happen this time? Kevin Seifert says, Brock, they're looking for replacements.
I don't know where they're looking.
Where did they look the last time?
The college ranks, probably.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well, then what did the college guys do?
I think the guy that called that Fail Mary a touchdown, I think he was a police officer in Fife, if I remember right.
There's no way that's true.
So IL stints can be backdated a maximum of 3 days from the date the move is officially made, even at the start of the year.
Okay.
So you can do it a couple days.
So if that's the case, you miss a week.
Right.
That's not the end of the world. You probably have a day off or two in the first week of the season. You usually do. So if you miss 4 or 5 games, yeah, that would be my gut, that they end up ILing him for just the first 5, 6, 7 games. And I would think if that's the case, you just stick with Leo Rivas. I don't think you need to have Colt Emerson up for that purpose.
Here's the third thing you need to know.
Again, that's all just gut feeling. Not much change in the standings yesterday. Nobody played. So Kraken continue to cling to a wild card spot. The last one with just 15 games left to play. They start their very difficult road trip in Nashville tonight.
That's a brutal trip, man. I think it's 5 games.
Yep.
7 or 8 days. It's some of the best teams. You got to go see Tampa, who just kind of got after you. Yeah, this is...
Apparently.
This is a
how many apparentlys will we get from Lane Lambert?
For the lane train.
How many apparentlys do we expect? All right, that's everything we need to know.
So AI can fill out your bracket. You still did it tip off?
It's too late. Yeah.
So in 2012, they used lower level college football, high school, arena football, and legends football referees because they didn't want to poach Division I college officials.
We're going to get some UFL refs maybe, Brock?
Quite possibly.
How are those guys?
I know those men and women very well.
Yeah.
I get to see them a couple times this
Are they
spring
good?
as well. I'll ask them. Oh, sure, they're great.
Can they do it?
And I do think there was a bio written about that guy in the Fail Mary, if I remember right. Maybe he was a PE teacher in Kelso. There was something.
He was local. He wasn't local here.
Oh, I think he was.
No.
Oh, I think he.
Now you sound like a Green Bay Packer. There's no way he was local here.
I think he was.
I think that's what they were trying to say.
He's from Snohomish.
That's what a listener just texted.
No.
Nope. I think it's true.
Is that true?
I think honestly that is. I've been facetious and joking around, but honestly, push comes to shove, I think he was a local guy.
All right, well,
and that was
maybe that explains the whole thing. I don't think I realized that. All right, we're gonna do trash takes at 9:45. I got 3 things that I want to make sure I get to, Brock. It's one piece of terrible sound. I want to make sure
great sound, right?
Huh?
One piece of great sound.
One piece of I think actually 2 pieces of great sound.
Okay.
Yeah. And there was one other little conversation. What is
More Never-Ending Story?
Maybe, yeah. We may actually play the whole movie from start to finish. So stick around. You got a lot left to go. Brock and Salk, Seattle Sports on 710.
4 down territory. Michael Bumpus answers the top 4 football questions of the day.
You watched every target to Rashid Shaheed, so what did you see?
He's good off the line. I like his release. He has a couple releases that he goes to that works. And the reason why they work is because he's extremely fast. You have to respect everything that he does. I think that once he gets on a defender's hip, he is gone. The saying, if he's even, he's leaving. That is exactly him.
Catch every 4 down territory on the Seattle Sports app.
Highlights don't win games. The full box score does. I'm Brock Heward, and most business leaders aren't short on data. They're short on clarity. Numbers are scattered across ERP, CRMs, and spreadsheets, making decisions reactive instead of confident. And that's not how great businesses are built. Marquee IQ brings all your data together into one clear view, even if it lives in disconnected systems or offline, so you can see what's really happening and act faster. Stop running your business on highlights. Get the full picture. Visit datathatwins.com to see what Marquee IQ can do.
Hear that? That's the sound of a car rolling into Valvoline Instant Oil Change. The sound of another savvy driver getting an oil change from trained pros. The sound of not having to leave your car while we quickly change your oil. At Valvoline Instant Oil Change, there's no hassle with appointments or dealer wait times. That's one smart bell.
High five! Up top! Dave's company just got the 5-year price lock guarantee from Comcast Business. Yeah!
It's 5 years of gig speed internet, advanced security, and a great rate that won't change. All from the company with 99.9% network reliability.
Heck yeah!
He hasn't given this many high fives since Deborah brought in her famous banana bread.
Yes!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee. Powering 5 years of savings, powering possibilities.
And it's hurting, but I am not stopping.
For a limited time, now through March 29th, switch to Comcast Business to lock in your rate for 5 years and get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Or ask how to get started with 150 megabit internet and Security Edge for $59.99 a month for 12 months with a 2-year agreement. Don't wait. Call today. Restrictions apply. New customers only. 1-year contract required for guaranteed rate. Paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account required. 5-year pricing applies to monthly service charge excluding taxes and fees.
The stock market was on fire in 2025 due to AI and tech stocks. Now is the time to set a strategy for 2026. It's a good opportunity to lock in those gains and invest into a stable platform. With $8 trillion in cash sitting on the sidelines, investors are either scared or unsure where to go. Hi, I'm Scott Rurecka, CEO of Legacy Group Capital in Bellevue. Legacy Group Capital develops local real estate, lends money, and shares the profits with our investors. Diversify with Legacy Group Capital. Invest into our Northwest Fund, which is currently delivering 9% on a fixed rate term. It's our flagship fund for 19 years with 0 investor losses. And yes, we do accept IRAs. Find out why 1,300 local investors have invested over $350 million.
Legacy Group Capital at legacyg.com. This is not investment advice. Investments available to accredited investors only. Details at legacyg.com.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
Trust is everything. Earning it takes years. Losing it takes 5 seconds.
Lee Johnson Auto Family.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at fisherinvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends at People Come First, or PCF Construction Group. Spring, well, it's the perfect time to start planning your dream deck. And right now, PCF is making it easier than ever to get you started with 50% off your custom professional design and architectural drawing package. What does it mean? Well, it means you can save over $9,000 on your project. And with 12 months of no interest, no payment financing, you can design your deck now and pay later. Most people who start with a design package end up with the outdoor space they've always dreamed of. And this offer is your first step. Don't wait until summer and wish you had started the process sooner. Start it now. Do what Molly and I did some years ago. Contact PCF Construction Group today. Get project ideas, browse photos, and find all the offer details at pcfgroup.com. Go see my friends at pcfgroup.com.
Making your outdoor space with People Come First.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Brock and Salk.
Weekdays 6 to 10.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, shout out to Stacy Rost of Bump and Stacy, because I saw this from her last night, and she was doing a pretty good job destroying this on her own, so you don't really need me to go all in or anybody else to. Stacy took care of it already, but the sound is just so ridiculous that I couldn't not play it this morning. So thank you to Stacy for making me discover this anyway. But this was Gilbert Arenas, Brock, Agent Zero, of course, who had heard that the Sonics may be coming back to Seattle, that there could be an expansion team here, and he is not buying that will work.
Times have changed. Like, are you going to be able to afford the players and keep your players? There's new things that have evolved in this game. There's new money, bigger money. If you're not in a big state where you can charge $20,000, $30,000 for front row, no matter who Memphis gets, they can never charge $30,000 for a front row ticket. So LeBron coming there, they can't change their ticket prices like that. Ja coming to LA, they can charge $30,000, $40,000 for the front row. You see the difference here? LeBron goes to Memphis, the most they can charge is $5,000.
Everyone's like, what? It's really funny to read the comments. Literally every single reply is like, Seattle's the 12th biggest market. It's bigger than 2/3 of the markets already in the NBA. It's got more billionaires per capita than anywhere else in the country. Like, what are you talking? Almost. If you, and that's only what 38 seconds or so of what was like a 5-minute bit.
Yeah.
It reads, Brock, almost as if he has the wrong city. Like he's confused Seattle with Portland or something, or Spokane, or just a city he's just never been here and has no idea. It honestly is like he thinks it's Anchorage, and it's like, I don't see how this is going to work in Anchorage. They just don't have enough money. I think we got enough money. I don't know what to tell you here, man. There's plenty of money. There's plenty of size. This is about to now be finally again a 4-sport town, 5 with soccer plus the Huskies. It is honestly as if he has the wrong city and he just mixed it up. It's so weird.
That's beyond trash. That's embarrassing.
I couldn't even let you use it for trash takes. It honestly seems like he just has the wrong city.
Yeah.
Also, while I agree with him in principle, and I've made that point many times in the NBA, just out of curiosity, last year's finals, it was Oklahoma City against Indiana, right? Mm-hmm. 2 of the smallest markets in the league.
Yeah.
It was Oklahoma City against the whopping metropolis of Indianapolis.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? What a weird take.
Yeah.
Because he's usually pretty funny, isn't he? No? I thought he was kind of a funny dude.
I really don't know, but that's really beyond.
It's a really, really, really bad take. Here's a couple others. This was Draymond Green.
Earlier in the show, we spoke about tanking, and there's a third of the teams in the NBA tanking, which means a third of the teams in the NBA suck. So I don't know from a talent and competitive basketball standpoint that expansion is good. Business-wise, incredible. Basketball, talent-wise, I don't think it's great. You're going to spread the talent even more thin, and it's already pretty thin now, especially with what, guys? The daunted word, second apron, hard cap, especially with that, the talent's already thin. And with an expansion team, it just gets thinner across the board. I don't know that that's great for the game.
I think that is true. I will say they're saying maybe arguably the best draft class since, I don't know, for forever and ever. For as weak and thin as the NFL draft class is, I think there's 10 freshman All-Americans this year who I know you'll be captivated by and watching in the tournament, Salk, over the next 3 weeks or so. But there is going to be a huge influx of some young talent coming. And, you hear the other side. Adam Amin would say it on the other side, no, there is a lot of talent. It's just got to be unearthed and developed, and when done well, and OKC has done it. They're 10 deep, 11 deep.
Yeah.
They've been able to do it.
But Draymond probably makes a good point in there, right? That there are
that
a
if
lot
a third
of teams
are
that are
tanking,
tanking.
yeah, that's probably
not both of those things can be true. There can be a lot of talent and also some real legitimate questions about a league where a third of the teams are tanking. Do you know what the PWHL system is for the draft lottery? I think you'll find this interesting.
Okay.
This is their system. It's not a lottery.
That's the Professional Women's Hockey League.
That's right. PWHL, the local team here is the Torrent, and right now they sit in last place in their first year of expansion. The team that has the best record, or the team with the first pick this year, I think, is going to take Abby Murphy, who was on one of the stars of the U.S. Olympic team. She plays at Minnesota. So, it's a big deal. The way they do it is the number 1 pick goes to the team, that has the most points, or they do points, right? Because it's hockey, because you have overtime losses, but the most points after they've been eliminated from the playoffs.
Oh, interesting.
So once you've been eliminated, you start gathering points. And at that point, you need to win in order to get the most amount of points. And obviously, the team that is eliminated first has the most opportunities.
So you're trying to prevent tanking.
You're trying to prevent tanking.
Yeah.
And you're still giving the best opportunity to the team that that is out of the playoffs first.
Right.
But you're not guaranteeing it to them. You're saying, hey, you got to try to win. And the team that that is the last out, they're probably not going to accrue enough points. But if the team that is eliminated first never wins another game, well, then they're not going to get the first pick, because you've got to go out there and keep trying to actually win games. I think it's actually a pretty creative, elegant solution to the whole problem.
Yep.
Yeah.
But Salk, then you couldn't have a ping pong ball that's frozen, right?
That's
and you
true.
Get the colder one to know that
I guess
you got to
that's
get
all
Ewing
true.
to the Knicks.
Yeah,
and
obviously. But I thought it was a good idea. I didn't realize that was the case, but I was looking it up the other day. Thought that was pretty cool. All right, so that was some of the ridiculous sound. Do you want a piece of or two of good sound?
Yeah.
All right, so
what you got?
This is from this weekend.
Last weekend?
This past weekend, and we didn't have a chance to play it yet. Hold on, I'm just pulling it up. Here we go. And this is from the Mariner game. This is, I have two. I have a Brendan Donovan RBI single, and I've got an Andres Munoz strikeout. But see if you recognize the voice. It's not Gary. It's not Rick. And it's not Aaron Goldsmith.
Donovan swings, lifts this one down the left field line, carrying towards the corner. It's down for a base hit. Rodden is in to score. Add another RBI for Donovan. It's a 3 RBI day, a 4-hit day for the Mariners' third baseman.
All right, there's one. Let me give you one more. Maybe if you've figured it out, I won't give you any hints yet.
The 0-2. Check swing does not hold up, and it's 3 strikeouts for Munoz. He strikes out the side here in the 6th. Leaves a couple stranded as well.
All right, do you want a hint? He's currently in our sports pit, Brock, wearing full Purdue regalia.
I feel like I know that voice.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Pretty
Mikey.
good.
Yeah.
Mike Lefko, our very own producer of Wyman and Bob Show and host of Mariners pre and post game. He'll go down and sometimes fill in for Shannon doing interviews.
Yep.
Mike is a trained play-by-play voice.
Yep.
And that was some of his work in his debut over the weekend in a spring training game.
That was awesome.
It was great.
That sounded really good.
Really good.
Yes. Yeah.
Not that I'm surprised, but really, really good.
Yeah, Syracuse guy. I mean, Syracuse.
Yeah, but we hear a lot of minor league sound, right? Like every once in a while, like a AA guy will do something, or some guy in God knows where in the whatever league.
And that ball is ripped to right center field.
And that's another K. Oh, my God. Like you hear some of these guys, and you're like, well, there's no way that's ever going to make it on a big league level. You just don't have the pipes.
Nope.
But I thought Lefko, again, I'm going to give him even a little extra leeway. He's probably as nervous as he's ever going to be doing this, right? This is his first shot doing it. I talked to him. I know he actually wasn't that nervous, but I'm going to give him just even extra leeway. Like, hey, this is your first time. If the game speeds up on you at all, this is the time where it's going to happen. It didn't sound that way at all.
Nope. Donovan swings, lifts this one down the left field line, carrying towards the corner. It's down for a base hit. Rodden is in to score. Add another RBI for Donovan. It's a 3 RBI day, a 4-hit day for the Mariners' third baseman.
Yeah, so I'm just going to say this. If that is the baseline for Mike Lefko, and it only gets better from there, which would be my guess, just given that it was his first chance doing this, I'm in. That was great. Yep. I want to hear more. I hope we hear a lot more of it. Nice job, Mike Lefko. Very, very cool.
I want some more of it.
Yeah.
Can we go back, Lyle? Do you have any old sound of you doing some play-by-play? Didn't you do the Cape Cod League one summer?
2 summers, and then I did a season of minor league baseball. But I don't know. I'd have to dig to find some of those calls.
You don't have any?
I'm sure I do.
How would you say you compared to
Lefko? Put together
Lefko?
A resume tape?
Again, I'm sure it's somewhere. I'd have to go find it.
How do you think you compare to Lefko?
I thought Lefko was really good.
Yeah, he was good. I was really impressed. I was really happy for him. And Mike's for those who don't know, and you hear him on the show or whatever, he fills in here. Mike is a really nice guy.
Oh my gosh.
He really is. He is one of the nicer people that we've had work in this building ever. I don't put myself anywhere near that list.
No.
He is a truly nice guy who is just like a pleasure to be around. Great to have him in the building. He's very interested in a couple of quirky things like snacks. He's got a weird grouping of teams that he roots for, like Purdue and the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Tennessee Titans. Like, it's a totally bizarre. What is his NBA team? I don't even know. He just has this like a weird eclectic collection of
Vancouver
teams
Grizzlies, I believe.
It might be.
Yeah.
He is one of those guys with just a bizarre collection of teams that he likes.
Yep.
But Mike is truly one of the really, really nice guys. Does an awesome job also.
Vancouver Grizzlies?
He might be. Are they still a team? No, they're not? Oh, that's the Memphis Grizzlies.
Michael
these
Dickerson?
days.
Oh, shoot. Okay.
You know, if the Grizzlies had drafted Steve Nash instead of Big Country Reeves,
could have been different, couldn't it?
They'd probably still be here, right?
Could have been different.
Don't you think?
I mean, the Blazers had the chance to alter their own franchise twice and missed. They took Sam Bowie over MJ, and then they took Greg Oden over KD.
That Greg Oden one did not work out. I don't know that I can blame them on the Greg Oden one. I know it didn't work out, but it should have. That one should have worked out. Poor guy.
And to be fair, didn't the Blazers have Clyde Drexler at the time, so they had a guard already? I'm just saying, if you had those two in Portland, what does that franchise look like now?
Yeah,
Lyle, do you have any desire, personal question, Lyle, do you have any desire to do the play-by-play?
Not anymore. For a long time, I did.
Yeah, what happened? Why? What changed?
One, I really like doing content, and media's changed in a lot of ways, and I've wanted to adapt with that. Two, man, it is... The minor leagues is brutal.
It's a tough road.
Really brutal. I mean, I spent 6 months in Dayton, and I was like, that's 6 months too many. This is enough.
Well, and actually, that's one of the reasons. Lyle, I couldn't agree with you more. And that is one of the reasons I was so impressed with Lefko there. It's like, that's not after, going through all of the minor leagues and all of those buses. That's while he's been doing other stuff. So good for him. I think that sounded really, really good. So impressed with Lefko, and I hope to be able to hear more. And we'll see what you guys have today as we do a Thursday version of Trash Takes.
Get it together. Don't look like trash.
Trash Takes.
It's a bunch of trash.
Oh, gosh. I thought it was trash. On Brock and Salk.
That's a terrible take.
Lefko sounds good. I liked it, says a text message here. I'd like to hear tape of Lyle covering the Highline Bears. Okay.
That's a summer team around here. That was my first internship.
Oh.
Actually, I did it at the same time I was interning here.
I tuned in this weekend, thought Mike was awesome on the call. Lefko's not bad, but he needs to add a dash more Bob Uecker to his style. I don't think he's going to do that. I don't think he needs to do that. This, let's see, was a surprise and a treat. Hearing Lefko last weekend, it seems like a lot of people really liked it.
That's great.
Stud. He was great, by the way. Those calls were awesome. Very impressive. Got to give an honorable mention for the nicest guy award after spilling my beer on him, and he still gave me a hug. Wow. That's pretty impressive. Yeah, so, I agree. Nice job. Nice job, Lefko, and glad to see people liked it. All right, what do you guys have for Lyle? Didn't you win last week?
Lyle won last week.
Where do you want to go? First, second, or third?
I'll go second.
All right, Brock, what do you got?
Well, Salky, I don't have sound, so I'm going to have to read the quote myself. I apologize.
All right. Deduct some
digging.
points.
I was digging, but couldn't find the sound. The MLB season is opening next week. Are you familiar with that?
Yeah, Thursday. Well, I mean, here Thursday anyway.
Well, yeah, here Thursday. But Netflix, do you know that Netflix is in the game of baseball?
I did.
Do you know they acquired the exclusive rights to an opening day game between the Yankees and the San Francisco Giants? Let's see, which means Michael Kay, and game analyst David Cohn will not be on the call for local fans. Last season, the Yankees opener, as you remember, aired on ESPN. In an interview with Newsday this week, Michael Kay, this is my trash take, said the whole arrangement, quote, sucks. To be blunt, it sucks. It really does. He goes on to say, it's not ideal because opening day, there's a special pageantry to it, pomp and circumstance. People look forward to pitchers and catchers. That's number one. And number two is opening day. I guess if I'm Netflix, I want the Yankees and the Giants too. But I know that all of us at Yes would rather have it. It sucks. Poor Michael K.
I was looking at the ESPN schedule because they put out some of it. No Mariners. None. Not yet, anyway. Now, a lot of it's TBD. So... But none of the initial ones are Mariners.
Oh, really?
Yeah, none.
On their national televised?
Not on ESPN. We'll see what NBC and Netflix, some of the others. But for ESPN anyway, like, yeah,
I believe
none.
NBC
Just
is
none.
going to have the opening weekend Sunday night.
Well, that'd be good.
That'd be pretty
Here?
fun.
Well, that'd be nice.
I believe
that
so.
would be good. Okay, good. Well, there's a little respect. That would be
Pretty
nice
well
to hear.
sourced.
All right, Michael K. for Brock. Lyle, what do you got?
Well, we've stayed on this NBA theme this week, and you just brought up a bad take about markets and bringing teams to Seattle and how they'll fare. I mean, there was another one this week, not just the Gilbert Arenas one, but there's one from Stephen A. Smith.
Oh, good.
Oh, we have the
Nashville is a growing city. A lot of people love Nashville. Okay, and obviously they're a very successful city right now. They are a thriving city in the United States of America, and so when you look at them, I'm certainly not getting on and advocating that Memphis loses a team because I don't want that to happen to that city. But in the same breath, you wonder about Nashville, comparing that to Seattle and wondering what kind of possibilities may present itself in that regard.
But Nashville over Seattle?
Yeah. Nashville is half the market size of Seattle. They're not a sports town. They don't have the history that Seattle does for basketball. I don't really know what he's going on about.
That's a weird take.
It's a very weird take.
But maybe careful, not a sports town. You got the Titans there. You got Vanderbilt Commodores. They're NCAA.
Kraken are there tonight, taking on the Preds.
Do you think of Nashville as a sports town? I think of Broadway.
Have you watched that SNL sketch on the Nashville Predators? Have you seen that?
No.
The bit is essentially like they've got a guy from the Rangers, a guy from somewhere. It's like, hi, I'm so-and-so with the Rangers out in the community. And then he's like, and I'm a Predator. And then like do all of these bits. And then they're like, okay, introduce yourself. He's like, I'm Bob Johnson, right wing, Predator. And they're like, yeah, I'm hearing it now. Doesn't sound good. Pretty funny. My kids love it. Okay. All right, Stephen A., Nashville. More, you got the same thing?
Yep.
Oh, no.
Oh.
How do I decide between Lyle and Maura?
It's tough.
Wow, that's never happened.
No.
Well, usually we figure it out ahead of time if we do have the same one, but
Yeah.
we didn't talk about it today.
Oh, my gosh. All right, well, that's okay. Brock, I appreciate the Michael K. comments. I know where you're coming from and why you are annoyed by it. Have you heard the comments or just read them?
I just read them. I read them for you.
Because I like the way you read it, and in that tone...
Well, it was to Newsday. There's no sound.
In that tone, it definitely sounds the way, pretty bad. But I think I think it could be read the other way. I think you could read it as, yeah, it stinks. I'd love to be out there. There's a pageantry and we want to show it all to everybody. And we'd love to be able to just bring that to you live and, with all of the same, like with our perspective of the whole thing, as opposed to having, ESPN join it in progress or Netflix join it in progress. So I can understand that. I don't know. I could read it either way. I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just saying I don't know. That Stephen A. take is absurd. It's absurd. So I got a co-winner this week, Lyle and Maura.
Way to go, guys.
Co-winning.
Congrats.
Co-winning. Co-winners. You guys are together now. Isn't that nice? Sorry, Brock. I could have just read that one either way.
Yeah, I got you.
Brock
And he's
stinks
not
at
wrong,
this
but that's you can't have it both ways, Yankees.
No.
You can't have this be the center of the conversation and think the world all revolves around you, and then when the world decides to take the broadcast rights and have it on Netflix, too bad. Suck it up, Buttercup, as I like.
Yeah, I don't think he's saying that. I hope not. By the way, if he is saying what you just said, then he should win. That's terrible. But I'm going to give Michael K. the benefit of the doubt. I think he knows what he's doing.
And so Nashville's thriving, okay? Everybo's moving to Nashville. There's no state income tax in Tennessee.
Sure.
There's no millionaires tax.
Right. Yeah.
The Titans are getting a new stadium.
income tax
Vanderbilt is thriving.
Yep.
I mean, don't diminish Nashville, Salt.
I know I'm not diminishing it. I once stayed at a hotel in Nashville that had graffiti on the inside of my door. It's a true story. It had graffiti inside the door.
Place like that in Nia Bay.
I was there for the winter meetings, paying my own way. The winter meetings were at the Grand Ole Opry Hotel.
Uh-huh.
My buddy Joe Haggerty and I were staying in a hotel down the road, and it had graffiti on the inside of the door. Oh my God. This can't even stay here. It was a Four Seasons, too. No. Anyway. All right, that's it. Thank you, Lyle. That's Trash Takes for today.
Way to go, guys.
Yeah.
Way to go.
What a day it's been.
Oof. Egan something. Egan is right in the middle of the action. I hope he's doing well. It was kind of weird. He said he wanted to go 21-1 today. Did you pick up on that? That was kind of an odd. When I go 22-0,
he might drop one along the way. Yeah,
right. Just kind of know that maybe there's somebody.
Sure, there's some octogenarian out there who's got a pretty nasty little dink and serve, and you got to be careful. You don't want to. And by the way, that's another Lefko obsession. That's another guy who's super into pickleball. Him and Egan together, so it's all kind of coming full circle today. Yeah. Yeah, this video of Egan is hilarious, man. He is. If you haven't seen it, he is in his hot tub with the pickleball court in the backyard, which is also hilarious, in the basketball court. It's quite a setup he's got down there. He's in the hot tub with the cool lighting and all that, and he's wearing a Mariners hat, his bathing suit, and a King 5 jacket in the hot tub, all while his little ferry boat cruises around, and he's eating crab nachos out of it.
There we go.
Unbelievable.
Pretty good.
What a world we live in. What a world. Okay.
Enjoy the madness today, everybody.
You're out tomorrow, aren't you?
I am.
You're taking vacation.
I'm going to be in Birmingham.
What a great spot. I always say if I'm going on vacation, it's either Iowa or Birmingham.
Yes. And then I'm on my way to South Alabama.
Oh, my God.
Love me some South Alabama.
Are you going to one of those beaches down there?
Uh-huh.
What's that place called down there?
Keep it quiet, so.
Oh, you want to tell the people? Yeah.
It's private.
Okay. All right. Well, you enjoy that. I'll be in Mill Creek for a volleyball tournament all weekend. I think I'd rather be in Mill Creek than Birmingham, Alabama, to be honest with you. All right, we got to go. Bump and Stacy up next. Yeah, we'll be with you guys tomorrow morning. At least I will. At 6 a.m. Until then, the hay.
Oh, it is in the bar.
Have a great spring break in Alabama. See you, everybody.
Get to the chopper!
Four down territory. Michael Bumpus answers the top 4 football questions of the day.
You watched every target to Rashid Shaheed, so what did you see?
He's good off the line. I like his release. He has a couple releases that he goes to that works. And the reason why they work is because he's extremely fast. You have to respect everything that he does. I think that once he gets on a defender's hip, he is gone. The saying, if he's even, he's leaving. That is exactly him.
Catch every 4 down territory on the Seattle Sports app.
You're losing your hair and you simply need a solution that works. You want the best. Modern technology, top-rated physicians, something that's guaranteed to work. Guys, you need world-class Dr. Perungo and his team at Advanced Hair. Advanced Hair has completely redefined hair restoration. From the experience itself to their unmatched results. Receding hairline, bald spot, thinning hair, maybe all 3 like I had. Get your hair back with Advanced Hair's simple one-day treatment that begins to regrow your own natural hair the very next day. Advanced Hair has changed tens of thousands of lives, including mine. And get this, Advanced Hair is once again the winner of the 425 Business of the Year. For your free consultation, call 425-449-8185. Right now, you'll get $250 off and 250 free hair grafts. Refine your hairline with the team that redefined hair restoration. That's 425-449-8185. Or for the before and afters, visit advancedhair.com.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from.
Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
It's about time delivery worked on your schedule. Same day, next day, or scheduled in advance. However you plan it, the Home Depot delivers the whole job. From drywall to doors, plumbing to paint, we'll get it there when you need it. Because on the job site, timing is everything. You order, we deliver. It's that easy. The Home Depot Pro. It's about time.
I'm Boomer Esiason. My mom died from cancer. She was only 37 years old. She didn't have life insurance, and that was devastating for my family. That's why having life insurance is so important to me. Ethos makes it fast and easy. Get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. You can get up to $3 million in coverage with no medical exam.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/play. That's ethos.com/play. Paid spokesperson. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
So, how's your research going?
Surprising. After I figured out the top-rated TVs in our price range, I went shopping for deals.
And who's the best?
It wasn't the internet, and it wasn't the warehouse club.
But?
It was video only. They had better deals on the Samsung, LG, and the Sony TVs that got the highest scores.
Better than online and at the club?
I know! Video only beat them all. And now we can afford an even better model for the same price. My research really paid off.
If we buy it video only.
Exactly. Otherwise, we'll be sorry.
At Video Only, you won't find huge stores with refrigerators or microwaves, but you will find the best deals on top-rated TVs, soundbars, and monitors. Shop around. Just make sure you visit Video Only, because if you don't,
you'll be sorry.
In South Center, Bellevue, Linwood, Federal Way, and Tacoma, Video Only.
When you're hiring, have you ever felt like you're missing out on meeting truly great candidates for your roles? It seems impossible to find them, but they have to be out there somewhere, right? Well, they're not hard to find when you know where to go, and that place is ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter helps 10 million people with their job search every day. And because these people are actively looking for jobs just like yours, it's easy to find the right person right away. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. But if you're not using ZipRecruiter, you're missing out. So see what it's like when the impossible is easy. When you go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio right now to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.